High Bank Atlanta Motor Speedway provides the setting as 43 drivers representing NASCAR's Busch Series Grand National Division prepare to battle for 312 miles, inches apart, at speeds approaching 185 miles per hour. All-time Busch Series win leader Mark Martin vowed to dominate all 14 events he entered in this his final Grand National season. He fulfilled that vow in Rockingham and looked for 2 in a row last week at Vegas until a late lap spin opened the door for Roush teammate Jeff Burton. Given Martin's momentum, the Busch Series regulars have had to take a step back and realize that winning individual battles or races is rewarding, but it's the overall war or series championship that really matters in the long run. The action here at Atlanta is always exciting and unpredictable as the Busch Series stars and cars prepare to strut their stuff next. ABC Sports welcomes you live to Atlanta Motor Speedway for today's coverage of the 9th annual Aaron's 312 NASCAR Busch Series Grand National Division race. As usual here in Atlanta, qualifying has presented us with a few surprises at the front of today's starting field. With more, here's Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, it seems that every spring the Busch Series offers us the inviting storyline of young talent tempting fate by raging into a sea of experience. They lead with their heart sometimes instead of their head. Matt Kenseth currently makes his home in the Winston Cup Series. However, he still visits his buddies in the Busch Series. For 2 years, he challenged for the championship. Now he simply races to get the win, which is exactly what he did in Daytona. 31-year-old Chad Chaffin is making his 25th start in the Busch Series. His best career finish, 9th. In 2 of 3 races this season, he has finished 35th and 38th. Hut Strickland started on the pole at Daytona and finished 36th. He was 10th at Vegas. He's never won a Busch Series race. Today he's making just his 46th career start. Then there's Mark Martin, 41 career wins in the Busch Series. Last Saturday at Las Vegas, he beat everybody. He just didn't win the race. He's won 2 of the last 3 Busch races here in Atlanta. He brings the poise and performance expected of a champion. This is the Aaron's 312, but most of the drivers in this field believe it's the Mark Martin benefit race.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with former Winston Cup champion Benny Parsons. Glad you could join us. You know, this stop today for the NASCAR Busch Series cars is stop number 4 on a 32-race, $15 million schedule for the year 2000. And Benny, Mark Martin's farewell tour has gotten off to a pretty good start. He won at Rockingham, had a runner-up finish at Las Vegas, but he told me that runner-up finish, the way he lost that race at Vegas with a car spinning in front of him with 3 laps to go, was as devastating a loss as he has ever had in his career.
I don't think any of us realize just how much this 2000 season means to Mark Martin, because this is his final. He's announced it's his final year in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship. But last week at Las Vegas, he had the race in hand. He was driving right on the edge. And the edge, folks, on one side is disaster, on the other side is victory. He was on the victory side until 3 laps to go. When a car spun in front of him, he had to back off, and Jeff Burton goes on for the victory. And you're right, Mark Martin was devastated because I think he wanted to win all 14 or 15. How many other races he's going to run this entire season.
And without a doubt, Mark Martin is on a mission today. He has won 2 of the last 3 Busch Series events here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. How does his mission impact the regulars in Busch competition? Let's find out down on pit road with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, when we take a look at the field here, in rows 3 and row 4, we have a lot of Busch Grand National regulars. Guys like Todd Bodine, Mike Dillon, Jason Keller, and Jeff Green. These 4 guys are running for a championship in the year 2000. Green and Bodine, I think, have been the most impressive. After finishing worse than 30th at Daytona, both of these guys have recorded top 10 finishes at Rockingham and at Las Vegas. Now, Mike Dillon has made 120 starts in the Busch Series, and he has yet to win. But believe it or not, it's been 50 events since Todd Bodine won. Now, Jeff Green in practice was probably the fastest car. And I think today, if any of the Busch Grand National regulars are going to be able to run with Mark Martin, it very well may be a Chevy with a number 10 on it. That's Jeff Green's car.
And indeed, what a field we have. And we have a bit of a delay here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Not only do we have a rainy night in Georgia, we had a rainy morning in Georgia, Benny Parsons, and they have gotten the track almost dry. The car is just now being pushed onto the starting grid, and the people now filing back into the stands after what was a shower over the track a little while earlier this morning. Well, we are getting set here at Atlanta Motor Speedway as the best that the Busch has to offer against some of the Winston Cup superstars. We'll go at it when we come back in just a moment. Welcome back to an overcast Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're in a bit of a delay because of a shower in the area this morning. Actually, we are in Hampton, Georgia, about 30 to 35 miles southeast of the city of Atlanta. That's where we are located here, this beautiful mile-and-a-half immaculate facility, Atlanta Motor Speedway. The field's getting lined up. Let's check in once again on the grid with Bill Weber.
Pole sitter Matt Kenseth has made 88 career starts in the Busch Series. He has 8 wins. That's 1 win every 11 races, including Daytona earlier this year. You lead him to the green flag from the pole today. How's your race car?
Is this 11th race? I hope it is. Visine Chevy's been really fast since we unloaded it. It's one of the best cars here I've ever had in Atlanta. It's an older chassis, but we put a new body on it, and Kipley built us a brand new engine for it. So it was obviously real good in qualifying trim. I was real happy with it yesterday in race trim. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it stays dry and we can put on a good show.
A tremendous amount of attention on tires here this weekend, Matt. How are these in the Busch Series?
It hasn't been bothering me in my Busch car. It's been bothering everybody else, but our car has just been handling so good, it really hasn't affected me. But our Winston Cup car is a different story. They've really been a handful over there compared to what we had before. So I think I'm just lucky, and we hit the setup right with the Busch car here.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
Matt Kenseth on the pole. Jerry?
All right, so the field is being rolled into position, and the people are back in the stand. Drivers are being called to their cars as we go down trackside for our invocation.
Please remain standing as Eddie Barton, the AMS track chaplain, offers today's invocation.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, of all the many things that are happening today, of the rain and the weather and the things that people are worried about, Father, isn't it so awesome to turn to you and to thank an almighty God that has everything under control. Father, today I pray for all these race car drivers that are going to start this race. I pray for their crews, for their families, for the many fans that are gathered in attendance. Father, for the many awards that have been handed out today, they have been wonderful. But Father, they gave me the most awesome privilege today because I get to talk with you and ask for a safe race today. That you be with this Motor Speedway and all the people that are running the race. Thank you so much, Father, and lead, guide, and direct us. Forgive us when we failed you, and have mercy on all of us because we're all just sinners saved by your amazing grace. For it's in your Son's name that we pray. Amen.
And now we celebrate this great country of ours with the singing and playing of our national anthem.
Water Arena is the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare above bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Our national anthem sung by Trelina as we await the command.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, for those famous words in sports, let's reintroduce our Grand Marshal, Keith Brooking. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Martin will have to win the race to the grid. They got this track dry so quickly this morning that Mark Martin, who starts fourth today, is sprinting up pit road. The crews are trying to get the drivers in their cars, and there is Martin finally to his car, Ray Dunlap.
Well, as Mark Martin gets down here, we wanted to get a word from Jeff Green real quick as he's putting the helmet on now, and I think it's going to be too loud here. We'll try it, though, because I think, folks, this actually is one of the cars that can contend with Mark Martin today as Jeff is getting everything set up here. Many of these drivers caught off guard a bit by how quickly we started these engines. They were standing around here not thinking that the track was quite ready to go, so I'll get in here and see if I can. Jeff's getting things taped onto his helmet here. Jeff, you got an awfully strong race car here today. What's this weather going to do to the changing of the track?
Well, I couldn't really hear you, but I think you said the weather. I don't know that it'll do anything. Just hopefully our next quick Chevrolet is adjustable enough where we can make it good at the end.
Okay, we'll let Jeff get ready here, and these guys are in their cars, putting the gloves on and getting ready to go racing.
And Mark Martin has finally made his way up and trying to catch his breath, and now he's just going to drive 312 miles or 203 laps at 180 plus miles an hour. But he has his game face on, and he is on a mission. Martin has vowed to dominate the remainder of his 14-race farewell tour here in NASCAR's Busch Series. Back with the green flag in a moment. No, we couldn't. If I could just spit out ABC, that'd be a whole lot. I started to take a drink of water because my mouth was dry. I tell you, I'm sorry. Sorry. Race analysis. Who is it?
Why are they pushing Skinner's car out of line?
Deciding who will win the Winston Cup Championship for 2000, and who will take that money away in New York in excess of almost $4 million.
Okay.
That's what a championship will be worth when they leave Atlanta, whoever that man is, and goes to New York City. We'll find out.
Looks to me like it's dry.
Can I see the race analysis? Can we? Okay, all right. We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia. The cars are just beginning to roll. We had a bit of a delay because of a rain shower. See still some dampness down on the inside of the racetrack on the track apron. The driver is just getting to their cars. NASCAR very efficient in getting this track dried very quickly. In fact, quicker than some of the drivers thought it could be dried. Take a look at today's race analysis. The Aaron's 312, 203 laps, 312.6 miles. The purse over 650,000. The pit window for fuel between 65 and 75 laps. And the race record, guess who? The guy that's won 2 of the past 3 of them here, Mark Martin, at over 151.7 miles per hour. There's the car number 19, Mike Skinner, just getting in the yellow freight Chevrolet. He won this race last year. In fact, they were trying to get him. He was over, I guess, in a meeting in the Winston Cup garage area. Was able to run down pit road, sprint to get in his car. And so he is now trying to catch up to the field. And speaking of the field, let's take a look at the starting lineup here in the NASCAR 2000 Busch Series competition. Today's Aaron's 312. His 4th career pole, 28-year-old Matt Kenseth leads him down in the Visine Chevrolet, flanked by the best qualifying effort ever for young Chad Chaffin in the Lear UAW Ford. Back in row 2, Daytona pole sitter Hut Strickland will be flanked by 41-time winner Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford. Back in row 3, only his 2nd ever Busch Series start, Anthony Lazzaro in the Calwell's own McDonald's Ford, and beside him, Busch veteran Mike Dillon. Back in row 4, Todd Bodine coming off that great 4th place finish at Las Vegas, and Jason Keller, a 2-time winner in Busch competition a year ago. And back in row 5, Jeff Green, that's the guy we talked about. He could be a factor today, runner-up last year in the points, and Elton Sawyer in the Lysol Ford.
Back in row 6 on the inside, rookie Jimmy Johnson. On the outside, Mike McLaughlin after that hard crash at Las Vegas last week. Row 7 on the inside, Joe Nemechek. On the outside, another rookie, Kevin Harvick. In row 8, Adam Petty, just 19 years old. On the outside, Tony Raines out of the ASA. In row 9, Hank Parker Jr., a pole sitter last week in Las Vegas, and David Green. And in row 10, on the inside, Kevin LePage, one of the 8 races he'll run this year in the NASCAR Busch Series, and Blaze Alexander on the outside.
Row 11 starting 21st, Wayne Grubb, 23-year-old, older of the 2 Grubb brothers, and Mark Green, the oldest of the 3 Green brothers in today's field. Back in row 12, Ron Hornaday, 2-time NASCAR Craftsman Truck Champion, one of the leading Rookie of the Year candidates, and Kevin Grubb, just 21 years of age. Back in row 13, Shane Hall, driving for the Buckeye Motorsports, the Ohio State colors on that car number 0, and Derek Gilchrist, his first start this year in Busch competition. Back in row 14, out of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, great run at Daytona for Jay Sauter in the Quality Farms Chevrolet. Beside him, Bobby Hamilton Jr., 2nd-generation driver. And speaking of 3rd-generation drivers, how about Jason Jarrett? What a qualifying effort he had. Start inside row 15, and 2-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie starts outside of that row. Row 16, former NASCAR Goodies Dash champion Lyndon Amick. And beside him, Winston Cup veteran Kenny Wallace, consecutive 6th-place finishes to begin the year. Back in row 17, there's Mike Skinner, who won this race a year ago, had to hustle into his car a moment ago, and Phil Parsons, a 2-time winner in Busch Series competition. Back in row 18, P.J. Jones, one of the impressive rookie crop here in Busch competition for the year 2000, and Winston Cup veteran and former Winston Cup Rookie of the Year, Kenny Irwin, flanks him in the Bell South Chevrolet. Row 19, Mike Borkowski, a Cornell graduate, coming out of the open wheel ranks. He's a rookie in Busch competition. And Jeff Purvis struggled early on this year, had a good run at Las Vegas last week in the Porter Cable Pontiac. The veteran, 58 years of age, we're talking about Dick Trickle, one of the provisional starters, and beside him, what a contrasted age, 19-year-old Casey Atwood in the Castrol Chevy.
Our last 3 positions, Tim Fedewa take a provisional alongside Buckshot Jones, and in the inside of row 22, Bobby Hillen. That will be our 43 cars for the Aaron's 312 race here. But Mike Skinner, that little meeting that he had about the NASCAR Winston Cup and having to jump in his car late, that will cost him 12 spots. He was scheduled to start 31st. The NASCAR mandates now he will start at the very back of the field for not being able to roll out in a timely fashion.
There's the pace car that has the field in tow, as they will. The drivers basically are trying to set their gauge their speeds with their tachometers for their pit road speed. Take a look at this track. We're talking about a beautiful facility, 1.54-mile quad oval, a front stretch over 1,400 feet, back stretch 1,320 feet. The corners are banked at 24 degrees, the straightaways almost flat at 5 degrees. This track, Benny, was reconfigured back in the fall of 1997. So this is only the 3rd time the Busch Series cars have run here.
And when it was reconfigured, it became very, very fast. These cars over 185 mile per hour average. NASCAR Winds Cup over 192 mile per hour average.
We are set for green flag racing when we come back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Benny's gone. I am here. Well, guys, that worked about as well as we could make it work, guys and girls, I think. What do you think? Except for that fumble on the ABC. Yep, that's what it was. You got that. You're right, Neil. You knew that all along, didn't you? You're all over that. What?
Here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, we should get the 1 to go sign this next time by. And Busch Series race here at Atlanta. Come here. Two, and since then we see some awfully good races. Second row position, but who knows, we may have a big surprise before the afternoon is over. As they make their way toward me now, halfway between turns 1 and 2. Now guys, Talladega at 2.6 miles and Daytona at 2.5, the two biggest tracks, but actually, a lot of people don't realize Atlanta at 1.5 miles or just a bit over that is actually the fastest track on which these guys run, with no restricted weights on these engines, as they make their way halfway down the backstretch.
BP's back.
Turn 3, which got Carlo picking up, they're reaching speeds at just under 2.
It's going to be perfect, Neil. You just timed this. Perfect.
I thought you'd sprung a leak the way you took up those stairs.
We're not going to read the onboards, right? Okay. Let's do it. Let's play. Who wants to win? Let's play.
These drivers have to be very, very careful to set the car up going into turn number 3 and looking at turn 3 for the final time before they hit the green flag, making their way into turn number 4. Once you get into this corner, you can pick off positions in a hurry. They're getting ready to get underway.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Jerry Punch along with Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and Benny Parsons. Glad to have you with us as we get set for the green flag in the 9th annual Aaron's 312 NASCAR Busch Series event. Glad to have you with us as they come down 2 by 2, 43 strong. Side by side off turn 2. Mark Martin says, I'm not going to wait. Martin goes for the lead.
Contact between the 77 and Martin. Martin almost spins. Fantastic job saving that car.
Wow, he handled that car. The car out of shape, some 30 degrees. It gathers it back in, and Matt Kenseth will lead him down the first time by. Last year's winner, Mike Skinner, taking his time, trying to work his way. He's already passed a couple of cars, had to go shotgun on the field, now working traffic. There he is behind the car number 5 of Dick Trickle.
That's his biggest problem right now is traffic. There's Mike Volkowski in the 20 car. Bobby Hillin follows Skinner. All these cars now just fighting for position. The track is dry, we're racing, but there's still clouds around. There's a threat of rain around, so they know this rain possibly could be short. They need to run as hard as they can to get up front as far as they possibly can. Oh, so once again, some contact between the 10. And we see Mike Dillon, the 21, goes by the 61. That takes over the 4th position.
That is 4th, 5th, and 6th on your screen. Dillon, the 4th place car. The 61, the red Pontiac of Strickland, is 5th.
That's twice we have seen cars coming off the second corner and getting a little bit out of shape, going down and making contact with the car beside of them. Joe Nemechek right along with the 87 cars. He goes by Todd Bodine. That's Kevin Harvick in the 2.
Todd Bodine had a great run last week at Las Vegas after qualifying 5th. Came home with a 4th place finish. There's Kevin LePage in the Redman Ford Taurus, the car number 71, making only his 2nd start of 8 races he'll run this year in a team he owns with Steve Plattenberger. There's Kevin Harvick. Kevin the Kid Harvick, they call him, former Winston West champion, back in the car number 2.
Anthony Lazzaro in the 97 McDonald's car trying to get alongside Chad Chaffin in the 77.
We mentioned Lazzaro. It's only his 2nd start in Busch Series competition. He ran the race at Rockingham, finished 29th down there. Former Toyota Atlantic champion from last year, driving for Cal Wells. Still side by side with Chad Chaffin.
Meanwhile, Jeff Green in the 10 car, the yellow car, just trying to figure out which direction do we go in. And Lazzaro is going to find, he's going to lose it back if he isn't careful, because that car on the outside will really loosen you up. Now they're 3 wide down the front stretch.
That slip by Lazzaro opens a door for Jeff Green and a host of others as they go by.
And they're losing positions wholesale now.
There's the 53 car of Hank Parker Jr., the Marine, the Team Marines machine that was on the pole last week at Las Vegas and had a spark plug problem. The car wouldn't run more than 4,000 RPMs when they dropped the green flag. It went straight to the back of the field. What a heartbreaker it was for that 25-year-old driver after capturing his first pole a week ago.
And here comes Ron Hornaday as he closes in on the back of David Green, the white car in front. That's Mike McLaughlin, the 48 on the outside. The battle back around the 18th, 20th position. And Lazzaro looks like has backed up to this group already.
As you watch Hornaday, you just almost wonder if he doesn't drive like the guy who owns this car, Dale Earnhardt Sr. It's almost like he wishes he had a plow on the front of it to push him out of the way.
And now they're 3 wide. Once again, Chaffin and Lazzaro. And wisely, Anthony backs off and lets Chaffin go down in the corner.
And look at Hornaday hugging that white line on the bottom of the racetrack. That's the quick way around Atlanta. And he makes the move beneath Chad Chaffin. Chaffin now roars back on the outside in that Lear car, that red and white numeral number 77. They are battling for 14th position here in the early laps at Atlanta. There's Lazzaro, the big McDonald's sign on the front of his car. 48 car behind him is McLaughlin. And take a look, there's Mark Martin out the rear bumper camera off Matt Kenseth's Chevrolet.
That's a real shock. Mark Martin is gaining on the leader, closing up right on the back bumper.
Mark Martin was deciding he was going to make the pass on lap number 1, and now he waits until lap number 10 to go by. Mark that one down. Mark Martin takes the lead at Atlanta on lap number 10 of 203. We'll see how long he will stay there. Martin dominated this race 2 years ago, has won 2 of the past 3, and said he wants to dominate today. Still angry over that misfortune in the final laps at Las Vegas a week ago. Back with more in just a moment.
I know you guys ain't gonna believe this, but Chaffin and Lazzaro are side by side. Nemechek just took over 5th. Bobby Hillin just blew up on the backstretch.
Jimmy Johnson. Kid's got some talent.
What position is that for? Ninth?
Yeah.
Did Hillin go to the garage area?
Doesn't seem Tony.
He's still on the racetrack. Dylan's gaining on this twosome.
And that's PJ, right? It's not Buckshot. Okay.
74.
Okay. Mark Martin makes a move back by Matt Kenseth. That is for the lead. Kenseth had passed him back when we were a moment ago in break. And now Martin goes back by in the Winn-Dixie Ford. The road to the Visa Triple Crown Challenge on ABC begins today. Get an early look at some of this year's top 3-year-olds as they run for victory in the Florida Derby. That's today at 5:30 Eastern and Pacific on ABC, the home of the Kentucky Derby.
Just a little bit ago, P.J. Jones. Did you ever see P.J. Jones with the damage to the right front fender? Well, that happened a couple laps ago as he was racing the 43 car of Jay Sauter. Watch him as he come off the second corner. It just seems like everything that happens there, he goes up, and right there they're going to make contact. And Sauter does a great job saving the car, and we can see the 74th, the damage, and that has to be aerodynamically challenged. Here comes Randy LaJoie, the 1 car. Moves into the 22nd spot. Started back in 30th.
Last week, LaJoie started 38, became all the way to finish in the top 10.
And ever see Mike Skinner had to start at the very tail end of this pack, 43 deep, is now up to the 25th spot. Man.
There's a look at the progression for Mike Skinner all the way. It set started 33rd. That's where he was supposed to start on the race. He actually ended up starting 43rd because they moved him back with this quick start. And now Skinner trying to make a move. He's underneath the 98 car of Elton Sawyer. Sawyer tries to battle back here in the dog leg, but Skinner will make the pass. That is now for 24th position. He's picking them off one by one.
I see the outside pole sitter Chad Chapin in the 77 car really struggling, trying to find the setup here early, trying to find the groove that his car likes. Obviously, they're hoping for a caution flag, a pit stop where they can make some adjustments as Skinner goes by and now takes over the 23rd spot.
Car owned by David Ridley. Talking about Mike Skinner. And here is Jay Sauter off the pace in the car number 43.
Left front tire is flat.
And that contact we saw a moment ago coming off turn 2 is probably the incident that produced the problem for Sauter. He was 4th in points entering Las Vegas last week, did not qualify, and now has a problem here in the early laps at Atlanta.
And Jeff Green is starting to lose some position. He was running 5th a few laps ago. This right now is the battle for the 7th. Puts him back to 8th position. The 10 car was Ray Dunlap's favorite to win here this afternoon. All of a sudden, his car is struggling to find some speed around the racetrack.
There's a 2-car battle there. The car number 21, Mike Dillon, along with Joe Nemechek. Nemechek in the Cellular 1 colors. Car number 87, the 1992 Busch Series champion, and now a regular in Winston Cup. Look at Dillon's car move around a little bit in the corners there, Benny. The car bobbling a little bit, and that was the opening Nemechek needed.
And look at Nemechek just power by on the inside. Got that run off the corner. You see these cars are still down on the white line. The shortest way around this racetrack. And now we see Mark Martin talk about those cars on the white line. Mark already, the Winn-Dixie Ford, starting to move around, trying to find a faster groove, a better way around the racetrack. Watch as he goes down the corner. See the white line where Kenseth is? Martin all the way up next to the gray stuff. And it looks like it might be working for him. He was the fastest car that last lap, according to our computer.
Martin's last lap over 174 miles per hour. And we have a problem as one car number 77, has had some contact. There was smoke and contact, and now Chad Chaffin is slowing as the caution is coming out. Let's check in his pits with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, he's been on the radio the last 5 or 6 laps saying the car is really, really pushing, and he just can't keep a handle on it. Jimmy Means is the crew chief, and he said, we'll work on it on the first caution. They didn't think they'd be the first caution.
That's right. You can't really wish too hard for caution flag. Where we see Lyndon Amick on the inside right there, just a touch. And Amick in the 35 touches the left rear of the 77. Chaffin goes around and nails the gas, does a 360s or a couple of them, and continues on straight. Now that, he drove that car out of that spin. Great job by Chaffin.
Well, what a job by Chad Chaffin, the young man who's only running his first full year in Busch Series competition, has run some intermittent races off and on. Short track ace. Very accomplished short track driver from up in Tennessee. Chad Chaffin did a heck of a job to keep that car from spinning back around in front of oncoming traffic.
Now what we see now, right now, that pit road is closed, but next time around, the pace car they ever see will go by, they'll open pit road. Now a lot of these guys will start making adjustments to their car, trying to make them just a little bit better. And we'll see when on the restart, we'll see the cars once again back down the white line. But extended green flags, we're going to see cars all over this racetrack trying to find that perfect line around the speedway.
And if you're unfamiliar with Busch Series competition or NASCAR competition in a stock car, the weather change makes a huge change in the racetrack and requires a lot of adjustments on the race car. It was fairly warm here yesterday, although we had a bit of a shower. It is overcast and cooler today, and we see a lot of guys sliding around. You heard Ray talk about the car 77 with a severe push. Here they come. Single file, looks like a parade down pit road as they will head down for their first pit stop of the day. Let's check in Mark Martin's pit.
Well, guys, they keep the RPMs right at 3,600. That way they do not speed on pit roads. Mark Martin called in and said, let's take 1 pound of air pressure out of the left front. So they have made that adjustment to the car. No changes to the chassis. They will be able to get to the halfway point if they get gas this time. Now to Bill Weber.
Matt Kenseth has a great pit stall, the one leading out of pit road. A slight air pressure adjustment. Martin has left his pit stall. They talked about making a track bar adjustment, decided not to. Jimmy Johnson is away. He will lead the field off pit road. Still working on the left side of the 17 car. Several cars away. Now finally Kenseth takes off. Meanwhile behind him, Hutch Strickland had to back up and then take off. Hooray.
Well, a big chassis adjustment here on Chad Chaffin's car. They went down 3 rounds on the track bar, putting tires all the way around, and I saw the number 71 car of Kevin LePage left the pit road with a wrench in the rear, so they will have to come back down pit road to get that wrench taken out after a good pit stop for LePage.
And there's a tire in the very middle of pit road that cars had to dodge exiting, and that's why this racing is so exciting, because of all the work. 7 guys go over the wall to try to change 4 tires, put fuel in the car, 22 gallons, make adjustments, and sometimes those tires will just get away from you. Why are we under caution? It came out 3 laps ago. We'll show you off turn 2.
The white car, Lyndon Amick, just touches the 77 of Chad Chaffin enough to spin him around. All in front of this traffic. No one hits him. Just a caution flag.
27 laps are complete at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back in a moment. Looks like it's missing. The tire was gone. Yeah.
See the damage?
Yeah.
I guess the lug nuts were off and he left. Well, if that was the wheel was on pit road.
Well, I don't know.
Hornaday's back in. Looks like he got some problems with the 3 car. Left side's up. If he hit that wheel, tire. Yeah. Makes sense. By the way, we had a terrible buzzing when we first started.
Yeah, we had a huge hum that hit. It went away.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, he's pushing the tire. Yeah, I see the right there. Okay. One to go.
We coming right back with this, or we're just going to come back and show Hornaday? Okay, are we?
Oh, yeah, perfect, perfect. He had little face. Okay, that counts too. So what's halfway? 102? 102 halfway?
Yeah. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, getting set to restart here with a green flag after the first caution flag today, involving a spin by Chad Chapman after some contact with Lyndon Amick off of turn 2. Glad to have you back with us. Matt Abernathy, the flagman, holding him down, and now waves the green flag as they come back up to full speed. Restart here on lap number 30.
Bobby Hill in the car on the outside is the leader. The 43 car on the inside. Jay Sauter trying his best to get his lap back, or a lap back. I think he's 2 down right now. And here goes Jeff Green, the 10 car, battling for the lead. He will take the lead in Hillen's car, wiggling, battling. Here's Martin trying to make it 3 wide.
Mark Martin, the car number 10 of Green, back within the pits a moment ago, now back on the lead lap. So both he and Sauter are back on the tail end of the lead lap, the 43 and the 10. Battle up front is for the car number 60, Mark Martin, who will reassume the lead. There's Martin, the leader.
So Jeff Green lost a lap. Bill Weber, how did he do that?
When he pitted, Benny, they did not get the lug nuts tight on the left front. So he came down pit road with plenty of time to get those lug nuts tightened, but they had a problem. The lug nuts simply would not tighten as Mark Martin continues to ramble through this field. He sat on pit road, he started to go, he stopped, then he took off. The field had already gone by. He came back to his pit stall, lost the lap, finally got the lug nuts tight. Now he's got a long race ahead of him. Ray?
Well, Bill, Kevin LePage had that problem I told you about with that wrench stuck in there, but they had even a bigger problem while we were under caution. The left rear tire came off the car. Miscommunication here between the driver and the crew. They told him a 4-tire stop. He thought they said 2. He left before the lug nuts were tight.
So the car number 71 of LePage had to come back in and put that left rear tire on. He is still on the lead lap, being shown in 33rd position. If you watch this battle here, a little smoke out of Randy LaJoie's car number 1. We might also mention that Ron Hornaday was on pit road a moment ago during the caution flag, came back in because he hit a tire leaving the pits, a tire from the Wayne Grubb pit.
A tire that we saw laying in the middle of pit road is Ron Hornaday pushed that tire to that position. And there we see Ron Hornaday as he comes off the corner, currently in 34th position. That's Derek and Adam Petty there in the 45. Here's what happened. Right back there is Hornaday. Watch as he comes off. See that tire laying on pit road? He gets with the left front and just pushes it down pit road and does some damage to his car. And luckily, no one else hit that tire. And there we see the yellow tape that they've repaired the damage to the left front.
Jerry Kennan, the crew chief, trying to repair that air dam. Aerodynamics are so important here at 180 plus miles an hour. There's the car number 71. That's the red man colors. There's the 3 of Hornaday, and he pulls up on the 15 of Derek Kilchrist. Right behind him, take a look at the left rear of the 71 car. That's Kevin LePage, who lost that left rear tire. Look how that tire just shredded some of that left fender there, just ripped it away. They've come back and put a tire on. Didn't have time to make fender repairs, but he's still running pretty well.
Battle for the second position is Todd Bodine. Phillips 66 car on the inside of Dillon takes a spot away. Here comes Matt Kenseth. Our pole sitter has a run on the inside, looks on the inside of Dillon, takes that spot away. And here comes Nemechek. Dillon just cannot get back down to the inside.
Joe Nemechek hugs that white line, makes the pass. Kevin Grubb in the car number 37 trying to make a pass, and poor Mike Dillon is hung up on the high side. Can't get the car. Maybe the car won't go to the bottom of the racetrack. David Green, the car number 34, also makes a move by. And that is for position. Those are 5th, 6th, and 7th place cars now making the move by the 2021.
The other red and white car, the 57, is Jason Keller. Oh, and they're 3 wide. Somebody back off, please. Mark Green, wise it does it. Purvis, the 4, just drives in on the outside, and here comes Skinner trying to take spots away.
Action all over this racetrack as you watch Mike Skinner's yellow freight roof camera right in between, trying to go between 2 cars. He'll think better of it and follow the car of Mark Green through the corner. Let's check in once again with Bill Weber.
Well, just to update the Jimmy Johnson situation, when he hit it and came out second, it's because they only took 2 right side tires. They thought they'd be able to get 5 points for leading, and they were hoping they'd be able to hang on once the field started to go by them, but that hasn't been the case. Crew Chief Tony Liberati told his young driver, that's all our fault, all our fault. Just do the best you can now. We'll make it up to you. He's gone from second down through 20th, going the wrong way in a long race.
Jimmy Johnson driving the car number 92 for Randy and Stan Herzog out of the ASA ranks, former ASA Rookie of the Year. He is an impressive young talent. Here's Kenseth making a move for second position. That was the pole sitter. Nemechek will try to follow him by. Todd Bodine. They are side by side. Harris Chevrolet Monte Carlos. That's for third spot.
Meanwhile, Mark Martin, the Winn-Dixie Ford, still continues to lead this thing, but he's only about 3/4 of a second ahead of Matt Kenseth in the 17. Okay, there's some serious racing going on back here in this bunch. There we see Skinner as he races alongside Buckshot Jones. That's Buckshot in the 0, and Jimmy Johnson, the 92 car, has fallen back to about the 20th position.
You heard about that 2-tire stop, and Jimmy losing ground still on the racetrack, trying to hang on. Skinner being shown now in 22nd spot. There's Mike Skinner, the winner of this race a year ago. He will run about half the schedule in that Busch Series car, and his son, Jamie Skinner, will run the remainder of the schedule.
10 car of Jeff Green was up in the front just a little bit ago with aspirations of getting a lap back. Well, now he's falling back to behind the top 4 cars. But meanwhile, Mark Martin is losing some of his lead. That time he was just 2/3 of a second in front of the second place car on Matt Kenseth.
Matt Kenseth, who won at Daytona, the season opener in the NASCAR Busch Series, trying to get his second victory here of the season and first ever at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He is our points leader, but right now he's running second, as Mark Martin is the man they're chasing after 42 laps are complete. It is Martin, Kenseth, Nemechek, Bodine, and Green in the top 5.
I appreciate Jerry letting me come out of that being stupid with a 10 car and throw it down the bill. I mean,
that's fine. Hey, I couldn't say ABC. What am I going to do, huh?
I didn't look. I just didn't look up there and see it. Thought the 10 car was surely on the lead lap, but Bill, you did that perfectly. Thank you.
Sure did. 7,000. Man. Wow, that's really.
Mark Martin's car is not exactly right, fellas. He's a little bit slower in those second and third.
Going to come back with okay. Okay, all right. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway with exciting NASCAR Busch Series action under an overcast and very cloudy skies. We'd like to invite you to join ESPN tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern for National Hockey Night. A battle between two of the NHL's hardest hitting teams, the Philadelphia Flyers and the Colorado Avalanche. Patrick Waugh has 437 career wins, second in the league, just 10 shy of Terry Sawchuk's record. If you live in Philadelphia or Denver, you want to see this game, you see it only on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network, go.com.
Looks like there's a few raindrops on that onboard camera. So, but fortunately, hopefully it's just a couple of drops. Ever see Mark Martin still continues to lead in the Winn-Dixie Ford. A battle for second spot right behind them.
That would be Kenseth and Nemechek and Joe Nemechek. You saw it from the bumper camera as Nemechek made the pass for second position. So a pair of Winston Cup veterans running first and second. There's Mark Martin, has led 32 laps. He's led 3 times for a total of 32 laps. You see that back on lap 48, or this lap 48, he is leading. Back on lap 27, he was as low as 4th.
That's not too bad if you go from first to fourth in a race. Last week in Las Vegas, he came from a lap down to take the lead and be in the lead with about 3 laps to go when the car spun in front of him.
And if you just joined us, Mark Martin is in his farewell tour to the NASCAR Busch Series. No, not Winston Cup, so don't you fans, Mark Martin fans, get excited. He's not going anywhere for Winston Cup action, but for the Busch Series, which is NASCAR's version of the AAA. Basically, it's the next step prior to going to Winston Cup. It's this final season. Run 14 events. This is his 3rd race of 14.
Battle for the 9th position, Jason Keller in 57 and Blaze Alexander in 81. As we check out our channel lock onboard camera, Blaze Alexander, this is one of Felix Sabate's cars. Trying to run on the outside, get a run. He's got a run, but Jason moves up, blocks that.
Jason with the Excedrin colors on the side of his car. 3 poles and 2 wins last year. The veteran from Greenville, South Carolina. And Blaze Alexander will take the position away.
And they're closed in on the back bumper of Kevin Grubb in the 37, the green car that just slides by.
Kevin Grubb's best ever finish on a super speedway, came here 2 years ago when he finished 6th. Well, if you look out the windshield and look at all these roof cameras, you can see some clouds beginning to move in. Let's check in the pits with Ray. Ray, is there a lot of discussion now among the teams about the weather that's approaching?
Well, absolutely, Jerry, and most of these teams have someone keeping an eye on the radar over at the NASCAR rig. Mark Martin has a very special helper today. It's his teammate, Jeff Burton. Burton's not in the race today, so he told Mark he'd do him a favor and he'd play weatherman. So he's over at the NASCAR rig watching the radar to tell Mark exactly when it's going to rain. Mark says if anybody knows when it's going to rain, it's Jeff Burton.
Exactly. They call him the Rain Man. Those of you who may not understand, Jeff Burton won last week at Las Vegas when the rains came. He was the leader when the race was stopped just past the halfway point. Not only did he win the race and the lion's share of a $4 million purse, he won $1 million bonus for the 3rd time in the rain.
See a battle between Hut Strickland in the 61 car and Randy LaJoie in the 1. This is for the 13th position. Red sure seems to be a popular color this year in the NASCAR Busch Series competition.
Hut Strickland out of Calera, Alabama, coming back to full-time this year in the Busch Series. Dave Hughes preparing him a very good race car. He was the pole sitter in Daytona. And there's a look at the Bob Evans car, the red and white colors with the red number 1 on the side for 2-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie. He hasn't qualified that well, but man, look at what he's done this year. Last week he came from 38th to finish 9th. At Rockingham, he started 33rd and finished 11th.
And look at this 71 car. I mean, Kevin LePage is going somewhere. Folks, I don't know how many seconds he was behind this group, but he has coughed him off the corner. Meanwhile, there's the 42, 48. That's a battle for the 11th. 42 is Kenny Irwin. 48 is Mike McLaughlin. They have caught Kevin Grubb, who has lost a couple of positions to the 81 and 57.
And here is Jimmy Johnson on pit road. Tony Liberati and the crew. Let's check in with Bill.
Well, a heartbreaking pit stop, Jerry. They had to come in and they had to get 4 tires. Remember, earlier in the race, under caution, they just took 2. Jimmy falling off the lead lap. This is a young team that's still learning. They learned a valuable lesson here early in this race. Jimmy Johnson has 4 tires and fuel back out on the track.
Back up to speed. He'll try to blend back in. And here's the battle shaping up for the lead. Joe Nemechek inching ever so close. Getting closer each successive lap to the leader, Mark Martin.
And looking at Mark Martin's car going on the racetrack and watching him drive around the corners, I don't think that Martin's car right now, his car is as good as Joe Nemechek's. But last week, Mark got up on that steering wheel and he drove that car for everything he had. I think if he wins today, he's going to have to do exactly the same thing. Because he keeps hunting and searching for a better groove, a better line, a faster line around these long corners at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
In the stick and ball sport, they talk about game face, talk about someone who is focused and really concentrating. And in racing, they talk about drivers like Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt who climb up on top of that steering wheel and grab it with 2 handfuls of fist. And that's what Mark Martin's doing right now as we approach the 60-lap mark at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Winston Cup veteran Mark Martin is showing the way. Back in a moment.
Can't believe it. See, LePage has found him a different groove than anybody, and he is fine. He's passing LaJoie and Hut Strickland, and he's run off the left. Skinner, remember how he and Skinner were together?
I can't see much of it, but except when they come off the tee here. Yeah, that cost Joe a little bit of time.
Yep.
Beat Joe.
Not much. No S on world. It's world, no S, huh?
Dummy.
Well, looks like it ought to have an S on it.
Yeah, in fact, if you hadn't mentioned it, I probably would have said that, so that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Good check from Mark Carter. Mark Martin's running across a lot of traffic. Just keep an eye on him because there's a bunch of traffic right in front of him. Pretty good cars. No, left of that. There you go. Yeah, it's going to rain a little bit, but maybe we'll get over. Maybe we'll get there.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Bill Weber, and we have a car that just spun off the racetrack down on the apron and grass. That is P.J. Jones, a Base Motorsports Chevy. P.J., a rookie here at NASCAR's Busch Series this year. And that will bring out the caution flag for the second time today here on lap number 65.
I see Mark Martin wisely slow down. Oh, here comes a car trying to get, that's Adam Petty, and will race back to the line. And that was nice of Joe Nemechek and Matt Kenseth. Those guys on the caution flag came out just to back off, hold their position, because once they start racing, it forces the leader to race, and sometimes you race into trouble. So the gentleman's agreement, when a caution comes out, if there's no reason to race back, you back off and just follow the other car. Let's see if we can see what happened to PJ. Goes in the corner on the outside of Adam Petty, and around he goes. The damage to the right front fender did not happen there. That had happened earlier. He goes up, doesn't hit anything, comes down the racetrack. Here's where he gets lucky. As he goes across that racetrack, cars come along, and no one makes contact with him.
PJ, none the worse for wear, will have to come in for some tires. Now, a lot of concern because of the weather, impending weather and approaching weather. They're watching weather radars all around this racetrack. There is rain west of us as we are about 40, a little over 40 laps, less than 40 laps away from the halfway point. And NASCAR rules dictate if you get to halfway plus a lap, it is official. So now the pits are open. Will they pit? Will they stay out? Are they concerned about the rain? Will they fake it? No, they're going to come down pit road. Mark Martin leads him down, and Joe Nemechek in a parade of leaders headed down to you, Ray Dunlap.
No question about it, Jerry. This will be a 4-tire stop. They know that a 2-tire gamble is not worth it at this time. Joe Nemechek running good, so is Matt Kenseth. So they have to go to a 4-tire stop. Mark said, make no changes. Leave the tire pressure right where we had it. No change to the chassis. This car is great. So Mark Martin now has his left side tires on. Coming to the left side. Now we'll check in with Bill Weber.
It'll be 4 tires and a chassis adjustment for Matt Kenseth. Some teams may take 2 tires here. It's significantly cooler and the wind picking up. Mark Martin has left his stall. A lot of traffic down here. Kenseth had trouble on the right front on his last stop. Waiting on the left front now. Martin's away. Kenseth moves second, followed by the 34 and Tom Bodine. Nemechek is 5th. Ray.
An unbelievable traffic jam down here, Bill. As Mark Martin was coming in, it held up Kevin Harvick in the 2-car. They were not able to get into their pit stall they wanted to, so this is going to cost them an awful lot of time. Chad Chapman also with a slow stop here. They're having trouble on the left front, and this pit stop is going to be about 27 seconds, so they are not gaining any time down here on pit road. Now, quick update on the number 19 car of Mike Skinner. They started all the way in the tail of this race, but pit stops have been their nemesis so far. Mike said, guys, you got to concentrate here. They've only run 1 Busch race so far this year, and pit stops are critical down here as each and every stop makes up positions.
Well, you saw the pit work. A lot of traffic on pit road as they came down at 45 miles an hour. Watch the traffic trying to get in and trying to get out.
Well, Mark Martin is leaving the pits. And look at there, on the grass. Looks like that's Kenny Irwin, as he has to go on the grass to avoid cars. Behind, we see Trickle on the grass trying to avoid other cars. Here comes McLaughlin out the pits, and he just drives up. But meanwhile, is that Jason Keller just drove out in front of him, and almost another tire on pit road as Dillon leaves pit road.
And watch Mark Martin trying to leave. Watch the close call. He's trying to leave, and there is the car number 2 of Kevin Harvick, and Harvick jams on the brakes. Martin jams on the throttle and gets by, and Harvick almost missed his pits. That could have been very costly for him.
Could have been very costly. Could have been very expensive for Mark Martin if they hadn't made contact.
We are under caution for the second time today. Caution coming in on lap 65 with a spin by the car number 74, P.J. Jones. Back with more from Atlanta in just a moment.
I don't think we're going to make halfway, boys. I don't think so. I think that caution flag just does sin. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, 45 car, if we get a chance, NASCAR did not allow him to get his lap back. He just came from too far back. Did Dillon go back to the end of the line for some reason?
He pushed a tire out of his pits and crossed that line when he left. I started to see it, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind having a cup of coffee for some reason. Hey, Ray, nice press conference, man. That was nice. That was a nice deal. That was cool. I like that. That was great. I like the E.
Here we go.
On the hats.
Here we go. You big dummy.
Sorry.
It was 45 seconds about a minute ago.
See there. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, restarts 1 lap ago. Here they come by and click off lap number 72. And guess who's up front? Mark Martin, but they've got a cluster of cars side by side at 180 miles an hour right behind him.
That's Jimmy Johnson on the inside, the blue and white Alltel car, a lap down, trying to get it back. He's a couple laps down. Actually, that's David Green, the second place car on the outside, the 34, and the third place car of Kenseth, the 17. Trying to figure out where to go to try to get by and chase down Mark Martin.
That's Jay Sauter's car number 43 back there as well. Quality Farm and Country Chevy. He is a lap down, causing an incident in that cut rear tire in 34th. 33 cars still on the lead lap as we have 73 laps in the books of 203.
That's Joe Nemechek. Onboard cameras. He clearly one of the best cars here right now. Just can't find any place to run.
Over 175.5 miles per hour last time by for car number 87 of Nemechek. Right behind him is Todd Bodine. As you ride along with Nemechek, there is Kenseth, the pole sitter. To the outside, it's the Visine car number 17 you see for Kenseth. And there's Kenny Irwin making his way into the pack.
A green car back there, the Bell South car, you're right. Currently back in the 7th position.
Kenny Irwin started back in 36th spot, 30 years of age. Running the limited Busch Series schedule this year for Felix Sabates. Following Joe Nemechek right by. Whoa, trying to go right by Jimmy Johnson. A close call as Johnson's car skipped up a little bit.
3 wide they were, going down in 1. They're battling hard for this second. Look at Irwin just trying to pass Nemechek, trying to bump him by.
As aggressive as these drivers are, you've got to believe their spotters have told them that rain is on the way. You've got to believe they said you got to get to halfway, and you may not get much more than halfway till the rains come. So they are driving like it's the final 10 laps of the race.
Here comes Kevin LePage up on the outside. Meanwhile, a battle for second. Kenseth on the inside of David Green. Takes that spot away. Now there's only one car in front of him, but it's Mark Martin.
Mark Martin is 1.12 seconds in front. There's Martin, the leader, flashing by. There's second and third. Kenseth and Green. Todd Bodine is in fourth spot. Now, if you're wondering what happened to Mike Dillon, who was having such a great run prior to that caution flag, he had a problem, I guess, and it involved that pit stop. Let's check in his pits.
Well, Jerry, you're absolutely right. He did have a problem on pit road. He actually hit a tire that was on the ground in front of him. The caution has come out here on the track. Mike did damage to the left front. He had to make an extra stop, had to restart at the end of the line. Back in 31st position. He's moved up a little bit since then, but not a lot. We believe there's debris on the track.
Matt Abernathy waves the caution flag, and there it is, Benny.
Yeah, up against the outside retaining wall. That could be a piece of metal, so we need to get that off the racetrack. Let's go down the pit road for an update from Ray Dunlap.
Well, Benny, they just brought the number 26 car that Bobby Hamilton Jr. drives back behind the wall for a carburetor change. This is something we don't see very often, but Bobby said the car would just not get going off the turns, and they brought it in. It was backfiring, so they said, we'll make a carburetor change. The old one is off, the new one is on, and they'll be ready to put him back out there. Now, the big question is for these other guys, do you come in and pit right now? With the looks of the skies right now, there could be rain any minute now, so we might see a lot of these cars stay out on the racetrack.
Work on going behind the wall. That's the Baywatch team, and we are under caution for the third time today. And while we're under caution, we'll take time out for this NASCAR 2000 moment, sponsored by Home Depot. Let's go down to the pits and Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, here in NASCAR 2000, once again, when the Busch Series runs a companion event with the Winston Cup Series, they're using the same Goodyear tire. This is a tire Goodyear likes to call their new generation tire. It's the first time it's been raced at this track. It's very similar to the tire that was used last year in the Second Michigan and the Charlotte race in the fall of 1999. Now, this tire has more stagger in it than what teams are used to. That means the right side tire is just a little bit bigger than the left. Normally, under race conditions, the left side tire grows and equals out and helps the handle of the race car. What the drivers have found out so far in the couple of days they've been here at Atlanta is that the left side tire does not grow as much. In the Winston Cup garage, the drivers have constantly complained about a loose condition, one they're trying to figure out a way around. Here in the Busch Series, that same condition exists. But because the cars are about 30 miles an hour slower going into the turns or thereabouts, that condition isn't quite as bad. Joe Nemechek told me before this race started he really hopes happy hour is held today because he continues to try and fight the battle to figure out how his race car is going to handle. I asked him how he feels in the Busch Series on it. He says it feels a little better, but it's certainly not comfortable yet. All the drivers say Goodyear has done a good job with their tire. However, the teams continue to try and figure out a way to make their cars handle with this new generation tire and the stagger it brings to the racetrack.
Thank you very much, Bill. Very interesting. A brand new Goodyear tire, and that stagger has certainly made a huge difference this weekend as both the NASCAR Busch Series and Winston Cup teams have been fighting a loose condition. The car going into the turn and will not simply turn. The car slips up across the racetrack. So we've got a lot of action to continue today. You see some of the cars that have made quick stops on the pit road. A lot of action to come your way here for the weekend in Atlanta. NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour coming up at 6 Eastern Time on ESPN2, RPM tonight at 9 Eastern Time. Of course, that's coming up later today. And, of course, action tomorrow, RPM today, and NASCAR today taking you right up to our live flag-to-flag coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Cracker Barrel 500 on ABC Sports. That's live at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. And we'll wrap it all up with RPM tonight at 9 Eastern Time on ESPN2.
And following the Cracker Barrel 500, tomorrow, the International Race of Champions. Number one for 2000 and Daytona. And folks, let me tell you, it was a fantastic race.
Incredible effort. The world's greatest drivers from stock cars and open wheel competition. That's coming up tomorrow at 5 Eastern time. And ABC's Jackaroo provides all the happenings at the track on ABC Sports and ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network. So stay tuned after that Cracker Barrel 500 for IROC, and that action should be exciting. Let's check in once again with Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, first of all, raindrops are beginning to fall here on pit road. Matt Kenseth told his crew under this caution that he believes he's running as hard as he can, but he doesn't have anything for Mark Martin. He believes he can hold off the rest of the field, but he doesn't have anything to catch Mark. He's asked for some help from the cars on the inside here as they go green to try and help him stay with Mark on the restart.
We are 21 laps away from the halfway point. That's the critical point to get this race in to be official. The rains are beginning to move in. The clouds are darkening just south and west of the speedway, and the action continues as Mark Martin trying to hold on.
Man, I'll tell you what, he's very, very fortunate to get by that 43 car. Now, Kenseth is hung up on the outside of Jay Sauter, which is going to allow Mark Martin to get a couple of car length advantage. I thought Mark was going to be behind the 43, which would allow Kenseth to close up right on the back bumper, but he was able to get by him down the back stretch. See, watch this. The 43, the 17 side by side. Right now, Martin is just driving away. He's looking in his mirror and said, "Out of pace." Stay there, Jay Sauter.
Jay Sauter, who lost a lap by virtue of a cut tire, is a very fast race car. He is a lap down in 34th position, but that's creating a problem right now for the leaders as they try to work their way by, and that's the differential Benny was talking about. You take a look at the difference that Mark Martin has pulled away now from the second place car of Matt Kenseth.
Martin goes by in the second place car. Kenseth is still side by side. We're watching telemetry on board Mark Martin, the world best by. Oh, and Jason Keller hard in that outside retaining wall.
Heavy contact for Keller. He smacks the wall. And remember, that's over 180 miles an hour. Heavy up across the racetrack in the Excedra and Chevy. Might have been some contact. There's another car on the bottom of the racetrack, and so we will have caution for the 4th time today here on lap 84.
And the 43 car of Jay Sauter might have gotten his lap back. We'll have to wait and see.
There's the safety car with the lights flashing that will pick up Mark Martin as the leader as they come by for lap 83. And the window net is down. That is the signal that the drivers are told by NASCAR, if you are awake and alert and appear to be okay, take your window net and drop it down so the safety officials know that they're on their way to you, that you are okay, so they understand they can take a little bit of time trying to get up there and get through traffic to get to your car. Tough break for Jason Keller, 29 years of age, bringing out the 4th caution flag today. Here again is what happened.
There's him going down in the corner. That's Buckshot Jones right behind him, the 00. They go in the corner. And right there, just a little nudge from Buckshot puts the 57 car in a spin. And when he corrects it, he goes back up the racetrack and just pounds that outside retaining wall. One more angle. And watch just how violently this car goes in and bams that wall.
And that was a brand new race car making its debut here at Atlanta. Brand spanking new Hutchison Pagan chassis for Jason Keller. And Bob Campbell, Greg Pollux, and John Bender, the owners of that car, are probably going to have to throw that one away.
Let's see what we see from Mike Skinner's onboard camera, the yellow freight on board. Right there is the contact, and there we see Keller in that outside retaining wall.
Unfortunately, if he had to hit, he hit with the back of the car first as opposed to hitting flush with the side of the car. You see one more angle of that contact.
And folks, that's at about 165, 70 miles per hour, and all of a sudden the car just turns right in the outside retaining wall.
Well, the good news is Jason Keller is out of the car, and the wreckers are there to pick it up, but we are working the caution number 4. 4th caution flag of the day here at Atlanta as the skies continue to darken. We'll be back with more after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
They give it 43 the lap. They did, didn't they?
I would imagine they would, since he was right up there, wasn't he?
He just made a pit stop, and they're showing him on the lead lap. So,
He was 2 laps out one time. I wonder how he got the other.
I didn't think he was 2 down. I thought he was only 1 down.
He was 2. According to that thing there, when he made that pit stop, he was 2 down. This is going to be open first. No, just want to. I guess the 43 got a lap. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it's going to be close. Real close.
Two races in a row.
What, BP? Don't yell at me. Okay.
It's going to be close to this.
Oh, it's going to be real close, guys. This thing going. Let's see by. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Working caution number 4. A violent impact up in turn 2 involving Jason Keller after some contact with a 00 car of Roy Buckshot Jones. Show you again the impact for Keller. He is okay, by the way, but boy, how hard did he hit? Take a look again.
57 car right there just gets a nudge from the 00 Buckshot. Awfully hard contact in the outside retaining wall.
Bad break for Jason Keller. Good break for Jay Sauter. There's what's left of Keller's car. Sauter able to get back on the lead lap in the 43 car. And how about this car? What a run today for Kevin LePage in the Redman Ford. Only his second start. And that left rear damage, if you just joined us, he had to come back down pit road during the caution because the left rear tire came off. He had to come back and put it back on. And he has driven his heart out getting back to the field.
Well, we're getting set for green flag. Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth. Martin nails the gas, comes down to the green flag. Can Kenseth get by the traffic? Can he close in?
We are being told that spotters have told their drivers that the rain is just around the corner. Take a look at this shot over the corner. You see it is just a few minutes away. And we guess possibly 7 or 8 minutes from the halfway point of green flag racing as they jumble up coming off the turn.
And once again, Kenseth gets a tough break, cannot clear that traffic. That's P.J. Jones on the bottom. P.J. comes up. Careful, boys, careful.
Whoa, trouble over in turn 3 and 4. 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars involved. As they spin and contact, Chad Chapin is there. The 2 of Kevin Harvick. Sauter had just gotten his lap back. There's Gilchrist involved. Heavy, heavy damage here on lap number 88. Everyone scrambling for position, knowing that the weather was going to be a major factor, and now we have a huge incident between turns 3 and 4. As the field is slowing down, they do not race back to the caution. Chad Chaffin trying to get his Lear Ford refired. There's what's left of the car number 2, the AC Delco sponsored car of Kevin the Kid Harvick, driving for Richard Childress, and heavy front end damage on his machine. Doubtful he'll have a chance to get back out.
They're just trying to get the hood up right now and having trouble doing that. There we see Tim Fedewa, the Stanley car, 25 of Kenny Wallace. A lot of damage to that car. There we see the 11 car, Buckshot Jones, Jeff Purvis in the 4, and all of a sudden, Buckshot's car is just not going anyplace. Watch the cars go by on the inside, and his car not up to speed. And he gets in the corner. He's trying to get out of the way, but it boxes up the car behind. And there we see the 15 of Gilchrist and the 77 make contact. And here comes set 25 of Kenny Walsh runs into the 77.
Meanwhile, Lazaro on the McDonald's car. Ron Hornaday's involved. Here comes Harvick in the back of I guess that's a 43 car of Jay Sauter. Jay Sauter that he ran in the back of. I'm talking about Kevin Harvick.
Once again, another angle. Watch the right side of your screen. Contact the 15 of Gilchrist, the 77 of Chapin. Here comes the 25 of Kenny Wallace trying to get by. Chapin's in front of him. Lazaro right in the left side of Fedewa. Bam, 43 right in the side of 77. And the 2 car has nowhere to go for Kevin Harvick. And it's a Jay Sauter sandwich as those 2 cars shove him down across the racetrack. So 7 or 8 cars involved in this latest caution flag, caution number 5, coming out on lap 88.
Once again, when we say 3 wide, it's such a concern going in the corner. Well, there's why it's such a concern, because there's very little room for 3 cars. And there, once again, we see Elton Sawyer right on the apron of the racetrack does a great job to get by. There's Jay Sauter driving in the side of the 77, Harvick. And watch Randy LaJoie. He had made a pit stop, was to very back in that Bob Evans farm, so he just stops, drives around these guys, and continues on his merry way. Not too merry, but on his way.
Well, a lot of the drivers are out. There's Kenny Wallace in the Lance suit. Tim Fedewa, not a happy camper. He has had his bad breaks here in the year 2000, not had a very good beginning, and some of those drivers very, very frustrated. That's what's left of his car. I'm told that was a pretty new car as well. Now it's a car that's headed for the junkyard. Caution number 5 on the racetrack as 8 cars are involved in an incident up between turns 3 and 4. Back in just a moment.
We were going to make it too, wasn't we?
Yes, Yeah. I've got 8 cars involved. I got 36, 25, 43, 15, 77, 97, 43, and 2. Those are the ones that I saw.
Yes.
Somebody started backing up even before that. Was that the 4 car? Or was it the 00? That really bunched them up coming off of turn 2.
So all of a sudden, Buckshot just can't come off the corner. He can't come off the corner.
Yeah, that was a stack I saw.
Yeah.
Boy, Hutch Strickland missed it. Watch Lazaro coming here. Watch a 97 come in. Bam! Watch 43 right in the door. Ow. Wow.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yep, that'd be good. I wonder whose tire that is. Yep, I think it is over.
we got 11 laps to go. We would have made it too.
I know.
Jeez.
I don't think they will. Yep, it was close. Look at it rain. Wow.
And we told you the rain was just off the turn. Unfortunately, we were under caution for the 5th time. We probably would have made it right to halfway, which would have made this an official race. But now, with the rains coming, NASCAR has put out the red flag, which indicates we will stop. They will tape up the cars to try to make sure no water gets into the intake area. That's part of the Winn-Dixie crew for Mark Martin, who is our leader. We are sitting at 92 laps complete. The halfway would be lap 102 of this 203-lap 312-lap event, 312-mile event at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Rains and winds are picking up as the crews have gone down to cover up the cars. The Tarpolians have come out as we go down and check in on the grid with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, we got back to the garage area here just as the rain started to come. Before this most recent caution, we saw Jason Keller's Excedrin car take a hard hit into the wall. You're standing here with me, so that's good news, but it looks like the car took a pretty hard hit.
Yeah, good thing we got Excedrin because I may have a headache after that one. I don't know what Buckshot was thinking there. You know, we're all right there in a row, and he just drove in there in the quarter panel. I don't know if he's too short, he can't see over the steering wheel or what. You know, it's a shame we didn't get a good finish. We were going to get a good finish, but, you know, some idiot like that take you out, you know, nothing you can do about it.
Well, that's a tough break for Jason Keller. We'll step over here where Kenny Wallace is. And, Kenny, you can't go 3 wide at Atlanta. That kind of got Harry over there in turns 3 and 4, didn't it?
I guess so. Jason said what he meant, huh? That was good. Yeah, that was a case right there where a bunch of cars that weren't real good, you know, and you had all the crew chiefs in your ear saying it's going to rain, get everything you can get. You could see the mentality, and we come off at turn 2 after the green flag fell there, and you could see it was out of hand. It was like 3 and 4 deep, and I seen it happen. That's the shame part of it. Seen it happen. I went low, and then that Chad Chafin spun down right in front of me, and nothing the Lance Snacks car couldn't do. Just going to have to go eat some crackers now because our day's over.
So Jason says what he wanted to, you got your sponsor in, that's good. But talk about how great this team's been. A couple of 6th place finishes to start off the year. Then Andy got in out at Vegas. You guys have had very good equipment.
Well, you know, it started out really good at the start of the year, and it's I don't know what's going on. You know, we came here and we qualified 32nd and didn't get going. Then we got going. Then, you know, we just never could get up front where we needed to. And usually all the wrecks, you know, you happen towards the back, and that's where I was, and so it's my fault for not having the car any faster.
Okay, go have a cracker. That's Kenny Wallace. He's okay. Jason Keller's okay, and we'll try to find Tim Fedewa here in a minute as the rain is really coming down now in the garage area.
As the rain begins to pour here at Atlanta, we're going to give you a rundown of the cars involved in an incident just a moment ago. In the crash, Jay Sodders, car number 43, Ronnie Hornaday Jr., Kevin Harvick. We just talked to Kenny Wallace. Chad Chaffin, his car initially contacted by Derek Gilchrist. That's what started the incident a moment ago. Also involved Tim Fedewa and the car number 36, Anthony Lazzaro and Derek Gilchrist. Gilchrist making his first start this year in Busch competition, driving for Andy Petrie. That's the cars that were involved to bring out the 5th caution flag today over on lap 88. And then shortly thereafter, the rains have now moved across the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Rain's coming down very severely here now as the wind's picking up. As we are under a red flag condition, Mark Martin is our leader. In Georgia, and the rains have moved in quite significantly. Just a torrential downpour. The wind has picked up. We are under a red flag condition. Let's show you how they're running right now at 92 laps. Mark Martin is our leader. Matt Kenseth, Joe Nemechek, David Green, and Todd Bodine, the top 5. Kenny Irwin's had a pretty good run, Benny Parsons, and I'm still impressed by Kevin LePage back in 8th position.
I'm very, very impressed. After the left rear tire came off, he had a sail back there, a parachute on the left rear, slowing the car down, but didn't seem to slow him down. As we check 16 back through 25, Randy LaJoy appears to be the last car on the lead lap.
Mark Green a lap down. There's Buckshot, the 00. And the remainder of the starters, there were 43 cars that started today. 53 here attempted to qualify. You see that Jason Jarrett, Adam Petty, and Jeff Green also a lap down. Now, some of the drivers that were involved in the incident a moment ago have come out of the care center or have back to the garage area. Let's check down there once again with Ray.
Well, Jerry, one of those is Tim Fedewa, and he started all the way back in 41st today. Timmy, you had an awfully strong car. Looked like you were passing somebody just about every lap out there.
Yeah, we did. That's just my luck this year, I guess. It's unfortunate for Stanley Chevrolet. We were just biding our time, and, man, people letting their spotters and their crew chiefs drive the race cars. Everybody knew it was going to rain, so everybody started acting like idiots and 12-year-olds driving their race cars. And, you know, that's what happens. You know, we're going awful fast, and you just got to use a little bit of patience and drive your own damn race car, not let the spotters do it. And it didn't work. You know, they had to go 4 or 5 wide going into 3, and it ain't gonna work, man. But we'll put our car back together and hopefully get out there and make a lap. That's one of them days, I guess.
Looked like Anthony Lazzaro's car came awfully high up into your into your driver's compartment. That's got to be awfully frightening.
Yeah, I really didn't. I had my eyes closed, right? That's really, after all that happened, they asked me if I was okay, and I said, no, I'm still wrecking. I'll tell you in a minute. So it was, I just hate it, man. We've had a bad luck season so far, and it just, you know, we had a decent car. We're not going to win the race, but I thought we could get a top 10 out of it, and to have this happen just makes me want to go over there and shake some sense into somebody.
Okay, that's Tim Fedewa. The good news is he's okay. Now let's check in with Bill Weber.
Okay, I found a dry spot. Here, have that. That's for you. I'm here with
It's big. Yeah, Matt was complaining. Oh, it's big.
Mark Martin and Joe Nemechek talking it over here. Looks like your car's pretty good in the in the dry.
Yeah, the guys really have a good setup on the car. We were pretty pleased with it yesterday. We ran some laps and ran with Matt yesterday and thought that he might have us covered today, but we made a couple of adjustments and for the race, and it seemed to be the right stuff, but we didn't make it halfway. Had to have too many wrecks. So who knows when we get this thing going again what'll happen.
You've won 2 of the last 3 here. You're running very well today. You do have a lot of success at this track, Mark.
Well, we do. This is a good racetrack for me. It's one of those momentum racetracks, and I do really well on those kind of racetracks. And the Winn-Dixie team has a good setup, and I always drive good cars, and that really makes a difference. I couldn't be doing that in a junker. So got awesome race cars.
Boy, it gets very windy down here. Mark, at the beginning of our telecast, we talked about the heartbreak you went through last Saturday. Can you just tell us a little bit about your emotions and how you've put that behind you?
Well, I was just disappointed. That race would have meant an awfully lot to me to win because Jeff Burton really probably basically had us covered. And to win one from a lap down against somebody who's almost got you covered is pretty special. And we did it on track position and driving hard and being in the right place at the right time until right at the last. And he was really in the right place at the right time to win the race. So, it would have been really rewarding to win, but we didn't win it, so we had to move on.
How about the first lap or so of this race, some contact out there?
I think that was probably my fault. I probably came up on Chad. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I felt my car, somebody got into my right rear, and I was moving up the racetrack slightly to get a better angle for the corner, and I probably came up on somebody that was out there. I thought, there was room since I was on the inside of Matt. I thought that, there would be plenty of room out there, but whatever it was, we got a little bit together and just about ended it before we started.
Okay, Mark, thanks for hanging around here. I got Joe Nemechek here, too, and I'm going to blame all this on you because you said you needed happy hour for your Winston Cup car, and right now, doesn't look too good.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Those would be the Ford guys.
Hey, I'm under the wrong tent right now, so.
Yeah, I'll watch your back while you talk.
No, it's, our Cellular One Chevy's running real good today. Got up there, we run second to Mark for a long time, and our car's handling good. We're just having a big problem with lap traffic right now trying to get by them, but all in all, it's a good day. We still need happy hour, though.
Yeah, because why?
Our car's not handling too good, and we're trying to find a better setup. We haven't tested at this racetrack with Andy Petrie, and it's like all new to me, so we just need time.
I know the cars are different, but because the tire is the same, will this help you at all because of the new tire at this track?
Well, it would if we would have happy hour, so I'd know what to do, but, it's going to be a guessing game going in tomorrow, and, we're not the only team struggling. I'm going to say 7/8 of the field is struggling right now, and there's only a couple guys that hit it, and if you can hit it, you're going to be in the front.
Okay, enjoy the swim back to the garage, okay?
Thank you.
That's Joe Nemechek, currently third here as we wait out the rain in lovely Atlanta.
And he's referring to happy hour. Happy hour is the slang term we use in NASCAR for that final 1 hour of practice. It is a scramble. It's 60 minutes of practice. You go on the racetrack to try to get your car dialed in. The final adjustments prior to the race on Sunday. And Joe Nemechek scheduled to start, by the way, 8th tomorrow in the Oakwood Home Chevrolet. That is our live coverage on ABC of the Cracker Barrel 500. The rains continue to fall here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're under a red flag condition with 92 laps complete. Back with more after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Stay with us. We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Jerry Punch, along with Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and Benny Parsons, bringing you coverage of NASCAR Busch Series action. The 9th annual Aaron's 312 is currently under a red flag condition because of the rain. Now, we had a caution flag that came out on lap 88 involving 8 cars. Take a look. Here's what happened. The final caution just prior to the rains coming.
Buckshot Jones, a 00 car, just cannot get up to speed. They start bunching up behind him. Derek Gilchrist in the 15 tries to go in 3 wide, gets in the corner of 77, Chad Chaffin, and the world just started crashing behind them.
Jay Sauter was trying to go across the racetrack, thought he might have had it missed, and the 77 car goes right up across into him. Once again, you see the accident here, heavy impact as you watch the car slipping and sliding. Let's check in down in the garage again with Ray Dunlap.
And, Doc, I'm with Jay Sauter, who was in that crash. Were you able to even see what was going on out there?
Well, it just looked like the interstate highway. Everybody was about 4 wide. Just after that restart, we had taken on fresh tires and we're kind of picking our way through, and some guys got together, and there's just nowhere to go here. I mean, you're running so fast. Everybody gets on the brakes. Somebody got into us from behind, and I got into the 77 car hard. It really unfortunate. The Quality Farm and Country car was awesome today. Started out rough. We cut a tire down. It was a little tight, but the guys made adjustments, able to make up 2 laps, and just we're looking to race to the end.
Let's talk a little bit about the mental side of this game, because this is an awful lot of tough competition in the Busch Series, but you guys come out of the box running great, and then you go to Vegas, had a little bit of a trouble in qualifying, you end up going home that day. How tough is that on the driver, knowing you've got a great team and one little slip and you're out?
Well, you know, it's tough on everybody. Your confidence was built up after Daytona and Rockingham. Everybody's feeling good. Things are working good together. And we made mistakes at Vegas, and we didn't make the race. So everybody got down, but these guys are all young, and they're aggressive, and they want to do well. And they all picked it right back up, came here with a good car, and we're on our way to a good run today.
Talk about this Busch Series, though. You've driven in a lot of different kinds of competition, come over from the Craftsman Truck Series and come here. How tough is the competition at this series?
Well, it's by far the toughest competition that I've ever been up against. There is just no room for error in qualifying. The times are so close. You can't afford to give anything up. I mean, you've got to be on the edge all the time. And Gene Need and the guys that I have here, they're pushing me to the edge, making me better, and hopefully we can elevate this whole deal.
Okay, that's Jay Sauter. He's another one of the guys that's in the garage here just watching it rain and watching his crew stand around because they cannot work on these cars because the red flag is out.
Well, he had a great run in Daytona, started 5th, finished 4th down there, had a top 15 finish at Rockingham, and as he said, didn't qualify at Las Vegas. He was 4th in the points and didn't qualify, and of course the heartbreak here today. But how about a driver who had a great run at Las Vegas, Todd Bodine? Let's talk to him.
And another strong run here at Atlanta so far for Todd Bodine, certainly considered one of the favorites for the Busch Series Championship. How's your car been this afternoon?
It's actually been pretty good. I learned something this morning in Winston Cup practice. And
that would be?
I can't tell you. I'd have to shoot you. We learned some stuff in the Winston Cup practice, and we came over here and did it to this car before the race. Never even practiced it, and it worked. I mean, the car's really good. I don't know if there's anybody who's going to run with Mark, as usual. You know, he's tough. But Phillips 66, Monte Carlo, you know, we gotta keep these top 5, top 10 finishes going, get ourselves built back up in the points. You know, we're 5th, which is the best start we've had in the points in a long time. So we're doing everything right. We just got to have a little luck, and hopefully this rain will go away.
And you'd love to get back to victory lane, wouldn't you?
I tell you, it's been a long time since California 2 years ago. And, you know, if you told me beginning of last season we'd go a whole year without a win, I told you we were nuts. But we did, and we just didn't have any luck. We had performance. The car was good every week. We did everything we needed to do. We just didn't have the luck to go with it. But we've got a great team. These guys work hard. We have good race cars. We're starting to figure this Monte Carlo out, the new Monte Carlo. It's a really good car, and we figured out how to make it turn good, and that's what you got to do to keep up with Mark, make that thing turn.
For the record, you wouldn't be the first guy to tell me I'm nuts. You have a 24th starting spot tomorrow in a one-off Winston Cup appearance for you, a good qualifying run over there.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. Joe and Shirley Falk, the last time I raced I raced a car 2 years ago, raced for Joe and Shirley here. The race ended at midnight, our whole rain delay thing, we finished 5th. It's a great group of people. Joe and Shirley are good people, and they're trying to get a sponsor for the car, and they got some people here thinking about it, and just to get in the race was a good plus for us, and hopefully we can have a good run. It was pretty good this morning in practice, and I don't think we're going to get a happy hour, so we're going to have to roll the dice a little bit and go for it.
A number of cars obviously missed the Winston Cup race, including Johnny Benson, so making that race was a huge plus for you and for that team.
Yeah, I tell you, I really feel for Johnny and James and a whole bunch, you know, to be 14th in points and just missed the setup, and they got to go home, and it's going to hurt them bad for the rest of the year, but they're a good team. They'll bounce back. But, yeah, I mean, anytime you can make a Winston Cup field, you've done a good job, and we came here and tested well, came back, unloaded pretty good, and believe it or not, I kept messing up in practice, couldn't get a good lap in, and finally got it in for qualifying when it counted.
All right, Todd, best of luck here when we resume, and we'll see you on Sunday as well.
All right, thanks.
Good weekend thus far for the Bodine brothers. His brother Brett qualifying 16th in the car number 11, the Ralph Supermarkets Ford, and older brother Jeffrey back home in Charlotte, North Carolina, healing up quickly. We send along our best regards to Jeffrey watching today and getting better. Hurry back, Jeffrey. We miss you here in NASCAR Winston Cup. Now, what about a driver who also took a pretty hard lick here just a moment ago, Kevin Harvick? Let's check in with him with Ray.
When you crash at Atlanta, you crash hard, right?
Yeah, I tell you, I thought, you know, they were all crashing on the bottom, and AC Delco Monte Carlo went up high, and here they all come. But when you run like crap, you wreck around the crap, and I don't know who caused it, but that's just the way it goes. We'll just come back next week and go get them.
Okay, Kevin Harvick, he's standing here in the garage just watching it rain.
And obviously a lot of frustration among these drivers here in the garage area. They felt like they were very close to the halfway point and the spotters call, and unfortunately that's what happened. 8 cars involved in an incident, and the rains came, and that's where we are under a red flag condition at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back in just a moment. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia. The rains have diminished somewhat and has gotten a little bit brighter around the racetrack. It had gotten almost dark here about 15 or 20 minutes ago as this front moved across. We are still under a red flag condition. Well, the action got hot in a hurry here at Atlanta when we dropped the green flag. On the very first lap, Mark Martin began to make a move and had some contact.
He moved up the racetrack to try to get his angle better going turn 3. And watch this as he gets in the side of Chad Chapman. Watch his hands as he saves that baby.
It's like he's swatting flies. Then there's contact off turn 2. Jay Sauter's car number 43 and P.J. Jones ended up cutting a tire for Sauter. And again, the same spot, more contact.
Chad Chapman, once again, the 77 gets a bump from Lyndon Amick in the 35. Chapman goes around, finally gets the car going straight, puts it in gear, and drives away.
He dodges a bullet. Here is P.J. Jones spinning around, and he dodges a couple of cars up across the racetrack and back down to bring out the caution again. And watch this impact here from Jason Keller up across at 170 miles an hour. And this was the final one on lap 88. This was the big one.
This was the big one. 77 once again. Chapman watches Kenny Wallace drives in the side of him. Lazaro in the McDonald's car in the side of Timmy Fedewa. Here comes Jay Sauter in the 43 and the 2 car. Another angle. As you see, Derek Gilchrist in the 15 makes contact with Chapman. Gilchrist goes to the outside and actually misses all these cars that are crashing, and heavy contact with Lazaro and Jay Sauter.
8 cars involved. That one on lap 88. About a lap and a half later, the rains moved in, and we sit here in a red flag condition. That's the radar screen that shows you Atlanta Motor Speedway right in the middle. Let's check in down by the radar. See, down by the radar, we move in closer and closer on that radar screen. You can see right in the very middle, there's Atlanta International Raceway. That's that front moving by us, and looks like there's some area behind us that could clear up a little bit. But right now, it looks pretty significant, although the rains have begun to lighten up a little bit here in and around Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are still under this red flag condition. Let's check in now with Bill Weber.
And I'm in the garage area with Ron Hornaday, and you drive the 3 car, and it's been pretty good, but that scoring pylon goes to 20, and you're not on it, pal.
It's not because of the crew. This crew's been working hard on this Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. Just bad luck. Good pit stop, came up through the front. Jerry Kidd and all them guys changed this car just before today. Unbelievable. I think they changed a spindle, which you never believed to do it for the races. We're pretty good in happy hour. And just the car was going to the front and come out of the pits and hit a tire, and it just had put us behind. We'd get a couple spots and maybe halfway up the board and then come back in and fix the fender again.
Your car, though, was very fast.
It still is fast. You know, that last crash, you got the door ripped open a little bit, but it's just saying how hard these guys work. They're got things ready to get back on them if we go back green, when we go back green, because I want to go back green. This car is a good race car, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we just need to get up there and try to get the top 10. We got plenty of race left. If we can keep that left front fender out and keep this thing turning off the corner, we'll be all right.
So you call that a little bit of damage to your door?
It's a lot littler than them guys getting pulled back here, so it's just an air conditioning problem we have right now. We need to put a patch on the side just because of you don't want nothing else to happen, rip the side off or get air in there. So these guys are going to do it a safety deal, and if we lose a couple spots in the pits, we'll be all right because this car is good enough to what they've changed on it. I'm really convinced with Jerry Kinn and Steve Mill and everybody Delaware incorporated to this car. It's fast.
Yeah, and you've had some bad luck this season, but you have had some good runs. And you, even though you have the truck championship behind you, you are a rookie, but you're not racing like one, and we didn't expect you to.
Well, I blame myself for a lot of it. We're just not qualifying good. We're figuring things out after the fact, and we just need to figure things out quicker. You know, Dale Jr.'s notes is not working right now because of the new 2000 Monte Carlo body, but you know, with Tony Erie and everybody over there, they still give us a helping hand. That's why Dale Earnhardt Incorporated is so important to us as a team, because we've got the Cup behind us and the Busch Grand National guys, and everybody works together over there. So we've got a pretty good car, and if I can learn how to qualify a little better, we'll be all right. We'll keep out of situations like this.
Okay, we're counting on it. Thanks for coming out in the rain. Best of luck when we go back to green.
Thank you. You need a Coca-Cola for in here?
I'm okay right now.
All right,
thanks.
buddy. Thanks.
Ron Hornaday, currently 22nd, from one truck champion to another with Ray.
And Bill, that would be Mike Skinner. Now, the objective of racing is to pass a lot of cars. You were going to start 33rd, but you really started 43rd, but now you're up to 12th, so that must be you're doing pretty good.
See, that means if we'd have started 33rd, we'd have been closer to the front.
You might be leading this thing.
No, I doubt that, but we'd have been a little closer anyway. Now, I really want to thank Yellow Freight and Cobalt Mechanics Tools and Pamico and everybody that's worked on this car to, you know, put us in this Busch car and give us an opportunity. Had a lot of fun out there today. I hate the rain came, but I don't know if we had anything for the front guys or not, but I feel like we had a top 10 car. I think we'd had a solid finish, and we've really struggled with this car this year. We won this race last year, and we get around this place pretty good, but we've really struggled with this car, and got an awful late start. They didn't really get started on this race team until about December, and David Ridling and Christian, everybody's really worked hard at trying to get it up to speed in a short time. It's pretty tough.
You got a late start getting to the grid, too. We were wondering maybe you were out shopping or something when they got ready to start this race?
Well, you know, I was over there sitting there with the radio standing by waiting for a signal, and I didn't get no signal. And when I did, I came, and it was a little bit late. But, you know, we're probably going to get our hands slapped a little bit for that. But, you know, it cost us. It didn't cost anybody but us. We were able to make, I think what the NASCAR rule is you got to take the green, and we took the green. We was behind everybody else, but we took the green, and it's just an unfortunate thing, and we'll have to work on it.
Now, you drive a Chevy over here and a Chevy in Winston Cup, but that's a little different now because they made a rules change, and you start, what, 12th tomorrow? You must have a pretty good car ready for the Winston Cup race.
Yeah, I think we're 14th, but
I was close.
The Lowe's Chevy's pretty good. We're, you know, we're pretty good. Everybody's focused on that car, and there again, we've had a pretty slow start with that car too. I think we were leading the points last year at this time, but you know, we got a good race car for Sunday, and hopefully the rules change will help us a little bit. I don't think it's everything that, I don't think it's a cure for everything, but I think it's going to help us a little bit. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Okay, that's Mike Skinner in the Yellow Freight car, and he's having a good run in the Busch race today and looking forward to tomorrow.
And his plans this year are to run actually half the Busch events in that car, in the Yellow Freight racing car for David Ridland. His son Jamie, 22 years of age, will run the other half. They'll run 16 events each to compose the 32 race schedule there in the Busch Series competition. Let's go back to Bill Weber.
With Jeff Green, who was Ray Dunlap's pre-race pick to challenge Mark Martin for the win here today, but it has been a day of, yeah, you can talk to him after the race, a frustrating day for you to this point.
So far, you know, our Nesquik Chevy's handling great, not running too good, pretty disappointed in that, but had a miscue on a pit stop. Can't win these things if you do that. And again, you can't get your lap back from Mark Martin since he's so fast, but you know, never know what's going to happen here. We'll probably go back and just try to get the best finish we can out of Atlanta and go to Darlington next week and try to win that thing. That's all you can do. The bad weeks, hopefully the good weeks overshine the bad weeks.
I know it's painful for you, but can you walk us through that pit stop sequence? They left the left front lug nuts a little loose, and then you came in, and that's when you had real trouble.
Dropped the jack too early is what happened, and had one lug nut on the left front, and it was wobbling so bad I couldn't really go too fast to get back around here. And then when we got back in, instead of just putting a couple on the left front and let me get caught back up, tried to put a whole new tire on there and end up losing a lap in the deal. But again, our cars, you know, was driving good, but with the traffic the way it was, if we wasn't right up, you know, one time I had a chance there to get right with Mark, and I was running my guts out to try to keep up with him and just didn't get lucky enough to get a caution. So we'll just try to do the best job we can for Nesquik and Chevrolet and just see where we end up today.
And these guys on pit road, Jeff, for both the Busch and the Winston Cup Series, work extremely hard. It's a challenging job to perform accurately.
Everybody's human, Bill, and they're going to make mistakes. And a championship year is put together with no mistakes, or hopefully a least amount of mistakes. And, you know, we're just going to chalk that up and try to learn from it. Try not to have these guys practice every week, and we've had some awesome pit stops this year. So everybody's human, and I'm not blaming anybody, but, you know, I made a mistake at Daytona, turned the thing over. So we're just going to try to get the best job we can do here. I know we got some racetracks coming up that Mark Martin's not going to, that we'll have a chance of winning, and we'll just see what happens.
And you believe you can challenge and take home the championship this season?
Well, we can, but there's some guys out there that are just as good as we are, and if we keep having days like this, they're going to get too far ahead of us. So we'll just see what happens. We'll race them as hard as we can race them every lap and just see where we end up.
Thanks for coming out. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, that's Jeff Green, and you can hear the frustration in his voice. If you do not compete every week here, you will not be able to win the championship. He had the upside-down incident at Daytona, trouble on pit road here. Very frustrating for driver and crew. Ray?
Well, Bill, Lendynamics here with me in the garage, and you brought a brand new race car here to this track, and let me tell you what, you were awful yesterday, but pretty good today.
Yeah, today's a big change, just like the weather. You know, just glad to be up there. You know, we just want to race with these guys, and this is hometown for PowerTel and Mitsubishi, and Atlanta's a nice place. It's close to my hometown pretty much, so I went out and have a good time in Atlanta, and then come here to run good. That's what we want to do, so I'm having a lot of fun. I'm ready to get back out there.
You started 31st. You're all the way up to 11th. What's the deal with the rain here? You think we're going to get this in this afternoon?
Might do a little night racing. That's what it's looking like. So that'd be a lot of fun and be different. We don't get to do that in the Busch Series, but we might get to tonight.
You're willing to wait around until we can get her going, though, right?
That's for sure.
Okay, a smile on Lendynamics' face. He's up to 11th place.
Now, he's referring to the fact that we do have lights here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's not talking about racing in the dark, although some of these guys probably would like to race in the dark the way these guys are as the rains continue to fall. Here's the rundown. We are under a red flag condition. The cars are covered up on pit road because of the rain. We have 92 laps complete. We are 10 laps away from the halfway point. Take a look and see where your favorite driver is running. 26 cars remaining on the lead lap. Back with more from the 9th annual Aaron's 312 at Atlanta Motor Speedway in just a moment. We are back at Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia. I'm Jerry Punch along with Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and Benny Parsons. We are currently in a red flag condition, just about 10 laps shy of the halfway point because of that. You see right there, weather. Rains have moved in. It's beginning to lighten up a little bit, and the rains are beginning to diminish somewhat. Now, we're going to be here till about 3:30 Eastern time, hoping to get this back underway. We're going to give you some key times, though, to remember. Our Atlanta coverage continues today at 6 Eastern time with NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour on ESPN2. That's at 6 Eastern time if it happens. Now, if Happy Hour does not occur, we'll update you then on what's happening with this Busch Series event. And also remember at 9 Eastern time, RPM tonight on ESPN2 can also update you the status of this NASCAR Busch Series event if we do not get it restarted here in the next little while. And, of course, you can stick with ABC's Wide World of Sports for updates throughout the afternoon as to what is actually happening here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, a big day for coverage here tomorrow from Atlanta Motor Speedway. RPM today at noon Eastern time on ESPN2. NASCAR today at 12:30. And, of course, our live flag-to-flag coverage of the 41st running of the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store 500. That is on ABC Sports at 1 o'clock Eastern time. We'll wrap it up with RPM tonight at 9 Eastern time on ESPN2. And, of course, don't forget about the International Race of Champions event coming up your way tomorrow at 5 Eastern time. It is round one of IROC 24. Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin competing alongside Greg Ray, Eddie Cheever Jr. 12 of the top drivers from NASCAR and Indy Racing come together at Daytona in identically prepared Pontiac Firebirds. And what an exciting one that'll be. IROC 24, the International Race of Champions, tomorrow at 5 Eastern time, 2 Pacific on ABC. Let's check in back in the garage area with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, we're having a big conference back here. Actually, these guys are practicing for the barbershop quartet, but I wanted to talk to Anthony Lazzaro because he took a pretty big hit out there. Anybody told you this is a tough business?
Yeah, it is. First, I just want to tell everybody I'm okay, and thank Lord that everybody else in that accident's okay. But McDonald's seemed to do a good job getting this car in 5th today, and you know, we're just a little bit tight in the beginning, and thing pushed up a little bit, and they freight trained me there in the beginning, but you know, we're just learning right now. It's a new team, and we got to learn every time we go out.
About a month ago, you had no experience in Busch racing. Now you've got a little bit more, and you've been doing some testing. You getting the handle of this?
Well, I come from the back pretty good, so I'm definitely learning how to race. But, you know, I just want to thank my guys for giving me a good car and giving me a good shot this weekend. I mean, from where we came from, not qualifying at Vegas last week, starting 5th, I mean, PPI and McDonald's and all those guys are doing a super job.
Okay, that's Anthony Lazzaro. Good to see that he's okay, and we want to hear from Dick Trickle because you have worked your way all the way up to 13th. Got a pretty good race car?
Yeah, we started 39th, and I made a bad decision early in the race. Got boxed in and went to the back. I was the last car, so we come from the back up to 13th. And, you know, we've been struggling this year, you know, with the Snyder National car. And, you know, between Spencer and Brian Schaefer, my crew chief, and Richard Broom come in, and we're trying to figure out where the clinker is. We're making a lot of changes. This season ain't been good to us yet, but we ain't give up. We're working on it.
You've got age and wisdom. You're not supposed to make those kind of bad decisions.
Age and wisdom. Well, you know, you become a small part of a big thing here. You know, the Busch deal is really it ain't a one-man deal no more with a couple friends. You got 15, 20 guys making decisions, and we can do it. We got the right people. Jimmy Spencer gives us great pieces to work with. We just got to get our together.
Well, the good news is you're gaining on it, right?
Right. We started off slow last year, and we didn't expect to start out slow this year. But trying to find an aero package on 2000 Monte Carlo, plus somehow our packages from last year. Now, we sat in a foil 3 out of 4 times, and we can't hit a nickel with it. So we're changing things. We ain't staying to what we had. We're going to take that thing and package it up, go to the front.
Okay, that's Dick Trickle. He's all the way up to 13th, and let's hear from Hank Parker, because he is what, you're 9th now?
Yeah, I guess we're 9th. We were running up there pretty good. I guess we were 4th and came in, got some tires back there about 6, and Winston Cup boys ganging up on me, teaching this young kid how to hang out with those guys. But I guess we're learning a lot and see if we can't get back up there with them.
Tell me what you've seen out there on the racetrack today. Been some pretty wild action.
Yeah, most of the time my eyes are closed, so I don't know. Most of the wrecks have been behind me. Only one of them was in front of me. It hasn't been real bad in front of me, but we're just having a little bit of a difficult time with it with lap cars. Everybody's talking about the new Monte Carlo with the aerodynamical, not much downforce on the nose. My car is pretty good, but when you get a big pack of cars that are a little bit slower, it makes it hard to pass. And you go into the corner and you're going so fast here and it's so narrow, you're out of control. And that's asking for a wreck.
Okay, that's Hank Parker. He's last week's pole sitter, having a good run today here at Atlanta. Now let's check in with Bill Weber.
With Kevin LePage, who has brought an extra element of excitement to this affair this afternoon. You have been through the ringer here today, and you have a good race car.
Well, that's true, Bill. The Redman Ford Taurus is really running good. Unfortunately, the beginning of the race went from 19th to, I think, 5th, and came in, did our routine pit stop, and the routine driver became the routine crew chief and made a call. We had a problem with the right front air gun. It broke on us, and I said, let's go. Let's just do 2 tires. Well, unfortunately, the rear guy was real good, and he got the left rear tire off, and it came off on me, so I had to come back down pit road and put some new tires on. But went back, I think, 28, 29, something like that, and the car's just flawless right now. We're going to the front, but rains came and stopped our march to the front.
You pretty much destroyed those aerodynamic arguments that have been going around the garage for about 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, that's true. Left rear quarter's pretty beat up on the car, and John Kenny from Redman called me after Rockingham. He said, we didn't get much airtime there, so do what you can to get some airtime. But I didn't think I wanted to do it with a tire coming off. We knew we had a good race car, Steve Plattenberger, and all the guys. It's a throw-together crew. We've been together. This is our second race, and Roush Motors, awesome. I mean, these guys are doing a great job for us, and we're really excited for tomorrow's race. With the FamilyClick.com Taurus, we qualified 5th. Backed up what we did here last fall with a pole, and we're just hoping that we can have a better performance. We finished 12th last year, but driver made another error, came off pit road and spun out, but we learned our lessons, and we'll be pretty good tomorrow.
When this goes back to green, have you got anything for that other Roush car at the front of the field, the 6-0?
Well, I haven't talked to him. Looking at the watch and looking at the monitor during the run, he's pretty good at the beginning of the run, but about mid-stages, he slows up a little bit. I'm about a 10th quicker, so I got 4 or 5 Chevrolets I got to get around before I can get to him, but I'm going to do my best to get there.
Okay, we'll be watching. Thanks for coming out. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
That's Kevin LePage. Starts 5th here on Sunday, and a good run so far here at Atlanta.
He is 8th currently right now as we are under a red flag condition. The other car they're talking about, Mark Martin, who is being shown as our leader as the rains now have picked back up here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We continue our red flag coverage. Back with more from Hampton, Georgia in just a moment.
The Aaron's 312. This ABC Sports exclusive brought to you by Aaron's Sales and Lease Ownership, Furniture, Electronics, Appliances, and Computers. And Chase Authentics, the authentic trackside apparel of NASCAR.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, track drying continues. They have the safety crews now on the racetrack trying to get some of this water moved away. And we'll remind you that coming up next here on ABC Sports, ISU Four Continents Figure Skating. That is coming up very shortly here as we try to get this track dry and get the racing resumed here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We are under a red flag condition. See the cars lined up along pit road there with the tarps over them. We have completed 92 laps of the 203 laps, which make up the 312 miles of this Busch Series event. And we continue that the rain has begun to move away somewhat, and track drying now is begun in earnest by a lot of these vehicles as we check in once again back in the garage area.
Well, Jerry, we've got a number of drivers back here. One of those, of course, Mike Dillon. And you started 6th today, tested here at Atlanta. Looked like you had a pretty good race car.
Yeah, Rockwell Automation car's running real good. I made a bonehead move down there in the pits and stopped one stall too early. The 57 car, they got the same uniforms and everything we do. I just messed up down there and put us behind and got us back there and all that other stuff that happened.
Amazing, though, how simple it is to make that kind of a mistake, isn't it, Mike?
I don't know. That was pretty...
I'm trying to bail you out here, buddy.
Well, you know, it happened. I mean, and it's my fault, so we'll get it back. I think we're going to be able to get the race back in, you know, the rest of it. I hope we do, because the Rockwell car is running real well. So I think we can get it back in the top 10 anyway.
Okay, have a good afternoon. If we get back, let's step over here and we'll talk to Kevin Grubb. How's your day been?
I tell you, we're doing pretty good. Terry Shirley and the whole Timberwolf crew, they've done an excellent job of getting the car going. We started out in 24th, and now we're running 10th. So we're making forward progress for sure, and hopefully we can just keep it going that way. Some of the guys up front are real strong, Mark Martin and those guys, but I think if we keep on working at it, we'll get up in the top 5, and you know, hopefully we can get this rain cleared out and get it going.
Mark Martin is in his final season of Busch racing. That's got to be good news to the guys in the Busch Series, but in a way, you guys kind of enjoy having him over here because he does raise the bar of competition.
Yeah, I tell you, it seems like he's on a mission this year to win every race he's in. You know, being that it is his last season, but he's doing real good. You know, he's been up front every race, and yeah, it's pretty normal for him. But like you said, it really does raise the bar of competition, and yeah, we just have to step up and try and match it.
I hope you have a good run when we get back going. Let's hear from Blaze Alexander, because he is having a great run up to 7th. You told me you were going to have a top 10 car, and that's right where you're at.
That's where we're at. It's been one of the best runs of, you know, my career here, short career in Busch so far. Ben Holmes and, you know, new crew, all the guys on NWO, Track Phone Chevrolet, they're doing a great job here. And, you know, it's unfortunate this rain because, you know, we're just getting together with this team and finally getting a good run going, and, you know, it had to rain. But, you know, we're up in the top 10. I mean, if we can get back going, I'll be happy. We just want to finish it out today. I mean, we wanted a top 15 be good. I mean, top 10, top 5 would be awesome. You know, we're looking to finish races right now and bring it home in one piece. And I hope Felix is watching. He didn't come down this time, but if you're watching, buddy, we're going to run good for you today.
In October of last year, you had no idea what you were going to be doing. Now you've got a solid ride in the Busch Series.
It's solid so far. We got to keep running like this. I hope it will be. But, yeah, we have a real good team put together. And Keith Simmons is spotting for me. You know, he has a lot of experience, and he helps me out on the track building the engines. Man, the engines are awesome. I mean, for starting out this team, you know, like you said, I mean, it's like a last-minute thing, even though Sabco operation is like it's such a big, you know, Winston Cup team, got everything, you know, all the people and stuff. It's still, we had to put together this Busch team within, like, since, like, December, really. And, you know, everybody's just been working hard. All the guys at the shop working a lot of hours. You know how it goes. And it's starting to pay off.
Okay, they're having a good run up to 7th. That's Blaze Alexander. Now let's go back up top to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Indeed, we'll remind you, for all your sports information and needs, AB Sports is online at ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network, go.com. And remind you, coming up at ESPN2 at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, you may want to check in there, because that's when happy hour is scheduled, if it runs, or we'll be able to update what's happening here with the NASCAR Busch Series event. A lot of racing to come your way here from Atlanta Motor Speedway tomorrow. Of course, RPM today, NASCAR today, leading up to our live flag-to-flag coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Cracker Barrel 500 RPM tonight. And, of course, following that tomorrow, round 1 of IROC 24. What a race that will be at 5 Eastern Time, 2 Pacific, the International Race of Champions. Now, coming up next, 4 Continents Figure Skating, the ISU Figure Skating, that is coming up next here on ABC Sports. And what an afternoon here. The rains came. We nearly got to halfway, but that'll do it from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's take you back to our Wild World of Sports studio in New York and your host, Robin Roberts. Robin?
Whoa. If you can ISO some of this stuff or even put it on the bird, that'd be cool. Some of these pit stops. You can cut it at least. Thanks.
All right, fans, at the instant of restart here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, let's rejoin performance racing at
Word.
the Lycos monument and even Ronnie Gordon, both coming out of this situation after great performances last week in Las Vegas. I talked to Johnny today right before the first and second round. He said, John, this is killing me. Just pinching it. He's a pretty even-keeled guy, but he knew that the proverbial handwriting was on the wall.
Punched 2 years ago in Atlanta. I'm doing this. And he comes by and he said, you don't know it, but we got music going on in the background. He said, you're jumping right to the beat.
It'll take 10 minutes to warm up.
Yeah. Well, most of the cars are out on the racetrack with motors fired and ready to go out and get under the top glass. But number 2, 18 Delta Chevrolet, Kevin Harnick now just got the green light to immediately start working on their car. As a matter of fact, they're all waiting to this work as actually can start so the cars pull out on the racetrack. But nevertheless, there is one car here you might ask yourself after having such a
yeah, it could get a little bit crowded here. Yeah, exactly.
That's from downtown, right?
Oh, that was. He's deadly. It's a good ball game here. They're rolling. Rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. One car that didn't roll off, just they're going to push it off. Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Just let me know what time. Boy, Boy, how about that, huh? Well, that's it. 'Cause I read. How about that? Pretty good job. Yeah, it really is.
Guys brought a flashlight like Buckshot's got down there. See, Childress had that light. Watch this field work their way by these trucks. I mean, somebody's going to weave out there and hit one. I hope not, but look how they're. Fortunately, they see that second truck there. Well, I saw they were going to squeeze by those trucks. I said, man, that's a recipe right there for somebody as tired as everybody is. Pit road is closed right now. What's the penalty for pitting when the pit road is closed? into the longest line.
It'll be a fight to see who gets back there, won't it?
It'll be battling to see who gets at the back of that line. You know what? This is they all got to pit anyway when they open it. So these guys are going to be back at the.
Sure, they got to be at the back of the line on the restart.
That's what I said. I guess they'll move it back there on the restart.
Yeah, it does. Sure does.
Okay, all right.
That's what I thought.
Okay, good enough. We welcome you to Atlanta Motor Speedway. And for those of you who are watching our live coverage earlier today on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we welcome you now to ESPN2 for the conclusion of the 9th annual Aaron's 312 NASCAR Busch Series Grand National event. After a red flag that lasted 5 hours and 54 minutes due to rain, we are now set to resume activities here in Atlanta. Let's check in now down in the pits with Bill Weber.
Well, Jerry, Ron Hornaday has been on pit road 5 times under this caution flag. It has been an amazing ballet of patience and determination under the direction of Steve Meal and Jerry Kennan. Hornaday was involved in a crash just prior to the red flag. The left side of the car basically has been wiped away. They built what they're calling a new door. Basically, it's a piece of sheet metal with a 3 on the side, pop riveted just to Hornaday's left. You can see all the tape on the front of the car. That's to try and also help some of the damage that he picked up on that left front fender. They're concerned because of the amount of tape that's on the grill of that car as to how much air is going to get in there. But it is significantly cooler than when we started. That may not be a problem. Right now, Hornaday's car doesn't look very good, but when this season ends in November, this might be the most beautiful car he's ever seen. This is how you win championships. Determination under caution, racing for as many points as you can get when you don't think you can get the win. But Hornaday told us during the red flag, his car is good. We'll see what happens. Ray?
Well, Bill, just before we got ready to go, I was walking down pit road and I saw Randy LaJoie shaking his head at me. I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "Take a look at the front tires. The right front tire was on the left side, the left front tire on the right side." The number 1 Bob Evans Chevy had just come into pit right before that last caution. They went back out. They were able to avoid the big wreck. That's the good news. They're in 21st right now as we get ready to restart the Aaron's 312.
All right, Mark Martin is our leader. Mark has led 83 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway as we get set to resume green flag racing. Matt Kenseth in 2nd spot, Joe Nemechek 3rd, and at 34, David Green is 4th. Green flag racing back on lap 102 after 13 laps under caution.
Both Mark Martin, the leader, and Matt Kenseth able to get by P.J. Jones, the lap car. By now, 3rd place car is Joe Nemechek. He's able to clear the 74 car. Here comes Jeff Green. He's still a lap down. It's a yellow number 10.
Coming up to speed now here in Atlanta. Single file through the first 4 or 5 spots. Now a move being made back in the pack. That is Blaze Alexander in the car number 81. That's Kenny Irwin's 42 car right in front of Todd Bodine in the 66. And here comes Kevin LePage. LePage was being shown in 8th spot. They are battling now for 6th and 7th position.
On board with Joe Nemechek. This is Bobby Hillen's car directly in front. I'm sorry, that was Kenny Irwin's car, and they're 3 wide. Irwin backs out, and here we see the 71 car, Kevin LePage, on the inside of Todd Bodine.
42 car of Irwin is in 5th position. 81 of Alexander is 6th. Then comes the 66 of Bodine and the 71. Now the 71 has gone by Bodine for that position. He is taking away the 7th spot.
On board with Jimmy Blaze Alexander, the channel lock onboard camera. Currently in 6th spot. And you can listen to the engine. Very little backing off, almost wide open, maybe even entirely wide open on the accelerator all the way around the racetrack, and 3 wide at the start-finish line.
Wow, Kevin Grubb was in the middle of that, now has pulled away. 37 car is Grubb. Behind him is the 66 of Bodine. Then comes Hank Parker Jr., the Team Marine Chevrolet. They are battling for positions 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Kevin LePage still trying to work that outside groove. Kenny Irwin's onboard camera still following Bobby Hillen.
The 42 car and the 81 car that are running 5th and 6th are both owned by Felix Sabates. So a good run by the Felix Sabates team here in Atlanta as LePage now tries to make a move and will make the pass by Blaze Alexander for position. He takes the 6th spot away.
Here comes Alexander back to the inside. Right now, you'd think with the rain we've had and the racetrack being cleared off that the bottom groove would get better adhesion, would stick better, but Kevin LePage on the outside just blows through the corner.
Well, the man they're chasing is the all-time Busch Series win leader. 41 years of age, he has 41 Busch Series victories, and he is showing the way as we are past the halfway point now in the Aaron's 312 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back with more in just a moment.
I don't know who's that crop on top yet. I've got 2 radiators today.
Yep. Do not adjust your television sets. These are the same 3 that were involved in an incident earlier.
That's gasoline, I think.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia. Jerry Punch along with Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and Benny Parsons. Glad to have you with us for the conclusion of the Aaron's 312. Good battle here down the backstretch. Derek Gilchrist making only his second career start in Busch Series competition. There's Buckshot Jones, a 00 car. Right behind him, the Cheez-It Pontiac.
The 4 car is Jeff Purvis. This is down the front straightaway. Buckshot gets a great run off the corner. Get on the inside of Derek Gilchrist.
Whoa, contact in turn 1. Buckshot goes around, hits Gilchrist, and it all breaks loose behind him. There's the 4 cars finish. Jay Sauter is involved in the 43. He's already been involved in 1 incident today. The front half of that car is missing. And just that quickly, we have the 6th caution flag of the day.
Watch as he go down in the corner. That Buckshot, the yellow and red car on the inside, and the car just breaks loose. Jerry, I don't know if they made contact. Just as he turned that car left, around it flew. He makes contact there with Gilchrist. Gilchrist backs it in the wall, and Buckshot makes hard contact with the outside of his car.
Then there was contact behind him between Jeff Purvis in the 4 car and Wayne Grubb. Grubb, who was trying to miss that, so at least 5 cars involved. Gilchrist, Jay Sauter, Buckshot Jones, Wayne Grubb, and Jeff Purvis, as we are now working the 6th caution flag of the day here on lap 111. Now, earlier today, it didn't take long for the action to heat up. In fact, the wild scramble started almost at the drop of the green flag. On the very first lap of the race, Mark Martin made a move that was nearly disastrous.
He moves up the racetrack to get his angle better going in turn 3. Watch as he moves up in the side of Chad Chapman. Does a great job saving the car.
Turn 2 becomes Calamity Corner. Jay Sauter and P.J. Jones have contact coming off there.
And then Chad Chapman once again gets touched by Lyndon Amick in the 35. Goes in the spin. Guess what? He hit nothing, and nothing hit him.
Then on lap 65, the 2nd caution flag of the day came out when P.J. Jones spun his Chevrolet coming off turn 4.
No harm, no foul in this spin.
But a violent impact on lap 84. Watch Jason Keller's Chevy slam the wall at 160 miles an hour. Then came the big one, Benny, lap 88.
Once again, Chad Chapman, 77, gets touched, and there, Kenny Wallace in the 25, and Anthony Lazaro, McDonald's car, in the side of Tim Fedua. And then Jay Sauter in the 43 comes in and hits the 77 again.
8 cars were involved, 7 heavily damaged. Unfortunately, all the drivers were okay, but take a look at the violent impacts. Lazaro, and watch the right side of your screen. There comes Sauter right into the side of Chad Chapman's car. Lots of excitement here in the first 90 laps at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And just moments ago on lap 111, this incident down in turn 1, as we thought there might have been some impact. Maybe there wasn't as the 00 spins around.
I think the Buckshot thought the 15 was coming down, and I think he turned the wheel abruptly to miss the 15. And when he did that, the 00 car spun out.
And there was a pretty significant impact for Buckshot, but he is being helped out of the car, and that is good scene to see Buckshot Jones getting out of the Cheez-It Pontiac as we are working the 6th caution flag of the day here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Back with more Busch Series action in just a moment.
Thank you, Shannon.
How many of those is LaJoy going to dodge? He went through that 8-car pileup up here, just right down to the bottom. And,
Jerry, don't you think that he just Just turns it, try to get off the 15 car.
Yeah.
At the wrong spot going in the corner.
Turned it, and there was no air back there. The 50 was being shuffled over to 15's rear. So.
Chevy, you're on Neil's station talking to everyone?
I don't hear Chevy. Is she talking to us?
So you were not at Neil's station, I think.
She's talking, I don't hear her. Well, okay. Yeah. Okay. That'd be a good name for a show.
One to go?
No, before they go green. Yeah.
You had me excited.
Well, I tell you what, I got pumped. Do we know why Skinner is behind the wall?
Wheel bearing.
Okay, thank you. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, getting set for green flag racing. Here are the 5 drivers involved in our latest caution flag. It came out on lap 111. Caution number 6 of the day, Purvis, Sauter, Waingrup, Derek Gilchrist, and Buckshot Jones. All, to our knowledge, all 5 of those drivers are okay. Buckshot helped out of the car, but able to walk away. Getting set for the restart, Mark Martin. Who else will lead him down? He has led 100 laps here at Atlanta today.
Green flag, green flag.
Car, P.J. Jones on the inside trying to get a lap back. Will not be able to do it. That's the top 3 cars on the outside. The 60, Mark Martin. 17, Matt Kenseth. And the 87, Joe Nemechek.
Take a look as we ride along with the World BestBuy.com telemetry of Joe Nemechek.
Let's see as he goes down the backstretch, accelerating up to 180. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 186, 187, 187 miles per hour. Just barely squeezing off the gas, back on the accelerator, and comes down the front stretch. Now, he probably will not run as fast down the front stretch as he did before. As you can see, only 185 because of 186. This is the fastest part of the racetrack normally, but a very, very stiff breeze blowing in the nose of the cars down the front stretch. Here they have the tailwind. Oh man, look at this.
Boy, a recipe for disaster back here. P.J. Jones in the middle. He's the meat in that sandwich. There's the 34 car, David Green. 3 wide. Green's able to sneak by, and the other 2 back off. I think they've learned their lesson maybe earlier today.
Blaze Alexander going by. Kenny Irwin still following Bobby Hillen. That's Kevin LePage in the 71 car. And that damage happened very early when the left rear tire came off on a pit stop.
Back on the first caution flag of today, Kevin LePage left pit road thinking it was a 2-tire change, and actually it was a 4-tire change, and the left rear came off. As you heard Benny say, they came back down pit road minus the left rear tire. They had to beat some of the, they had already beaten some of that sheet metal off, and the tire came off, so had to replace the tire. He came from the back of the lead lap all the way now to 4th position. What a run by Kevin LePage in the Redman Ford.
And by the way, if you're missing Mike Skinner, his car is back in the garage area replacing a wheel bearing. And whether or not he's going to come back out tonight, we don't know.
And you're seeing history being made here. First ever Busch Series Grand National Division night race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Didn't plan it that way, but race actually began at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But if you just joined us, a 5-hour and 54-minute red flag due to rain. They have dried the track. The fans have stayed. NASCAR has stayed here. And we are back to green flag action trying to conclude the 9th annual Aaron's 312 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
On the inside of P.J. Jones, all these cars are battling for position. 37 car Kevin Grubb, 66 Todd Bodine, and the 53 of Hank Parker Jr. and the 35 car of Lyndon Amick. All these cars are racing for position.
That is 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, respectively. Benny's just talking about there. Car number 5, we saw a moment ago, that's Dick Trickle. He's back in 12th spot. Here's the battle. Grubb in the 37 car, Bodine in the 66. And here's the Snyder Trucking Chevrolet for Dick Trickle, trying to find a way around the 74, or actually he's following the 35 right in front of him for position. That is Lyndon Amick.
Oh, Lyndon gets a car out of shape, has to squeeze off the gas, and now we've got cars all over behind them. McLaughlin dives to the inside, and there's some contact.
Nearly disaster. Mike McLaughlin backed out and somehow maintained control of his car, the Gould's Pump Chevy. What a run McLaughlin is having after the kind of miserable luck he had at the beginning of the year. McLaughlin trying to get his car moved toward the top 10. Meanwhile, with less than 80 laps to go here at Atlanta, they're still chasing the man who's on a mission, Mark Martin, who missed out a week ago at Las Vegas with an incident with 3 laps to go. He finished second. He said he's going to punish him at Atlanta, and indeed he is doing just that. Back with more in just a moment.
Up to 19th.
He now is past Amick to get up into the 12th spot. You're the man, Slob.
Visine.
I'll tell you what, Kenseth just barely squeezed out of the gas down the lane.
Well, he's just keeping the hammer down, isn't he? Did you hear that a minute ago? He just barely breathed it, huh? Think he's dragging the brake or just backing off?
Might be. I saw Mark earlier was dragging the brake a little bit.
You have it on the telemetry? Yeah, huh.
I did not say it, but I will. When did these guys pit last? About 85?
I've got that they all pitted on lap 67.
Sure. Nemechek is getting closer.
We welcome you back to Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Jerry Punch along with Benny Parsons, Bill Weber, and Ray Dunlap. Thanks for sticking with us here for the conclusion of today's Aaron's 312 NASCAR Busch Series Grand National event. That's the margin right there between Mark Martin, left side of your screen, and his protege, Matt Kenseth, driving that blue number 17, is in second spot. Now, how about Ronnie Hornaday? Ron Hornaday Jr., you heard Bill Weber update the situation with the Napa Chevrolet. They had that big patch they had to put on the left side of the car and had to come on and off pit road a number of times. And Benny, he's picked up some spots.
Yeah, he started about 23rd, 24th on this restart, and right now is up to the 19th spot. So he has picked up 4 or 5 spots and running pretty competitively. He's only a half lap down right now to Mark Martin.
About 3 or 4 rolls of tape. They had fixed that air dam on the front of the car when he hit a tire exiting the pits on the very first caution of the day back on lap 24.
And by the way, I talked about Skinner being in the garage area. We see he's back on the racetrack after repairing the wheel bearing.
And he won this race a year ago. He's the defending winner of the Aaron's 312.
He's not going to win today. Right now, he's 20 laps down in 33rd position.
Now the battle here may be getting ready to heat up a little bit for a second spot. Take a look at the top of your screen. 17 car is Kenseth. He's a second place car, but take a look out off his rear bumper. That car coming toward him, that is Joe Nemechek, the third place car.
And we see the cars going down in the front straightaway as they go by Jeff Purvis. Now Kenseth will accelerate off turn 2. We'll watch the RPM build. Strong tailwind up to 183. We can see as the tires get hotter and wear, the cars will start slowing down just a little bit.
Now, how about Nemechek? What's his viewpoint from the Cellular One roof cam? That's the guy he's chasing right in front of him. Differential about, well, less than 6/10 of a second. There's Joe Nemechek. Let's see what his speeds are, BP.
Watches Joe Nemechek down the backstretch up to 181 to 184, 185. We saw 186 a few laps ago. Both these cars did not run the last lap as quickly as they had been running because they passed the slower car of Jeff Purvis. And looks like traffic is really bothering both the 7. Oh man, that's close up front between the 17 of Kenseth and Mark Martin is some trouble as he goes by Adam Petty, and he's caught Jason Jarrett. That's Jason in the 11, the railback car.
Won by the railback Pontiac. A couple of young drivers. Famous names, Jarrett and Petty. Let's ride along with Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie Ford and see what kind of speed we're talking about on his WorldBestBuy.com telemetry.
So 181 going down in turn one, just touching the brakes a little bit to get the car set to go the other direction. Now turn two, down the backstretch, 173, 4, 5, 8, 180, just 185 as he goes down in the corner.
You see him dragging that brake a little bit entering the corner, so obviously he's got to be braking a little bit with that left foot, just touching it. I guess, what's he doing, just stabilizing the car?
When you touch it like that, you just get the car to slow down a little bit so he can turn it and get it going the other direction.
Interval shrinking now between second and third. Nemechek is pedaling, causing and go. Down to about 5 car lengths. Make it 4 car lengths off of turn 2.
Wayne Grubb, the 83 car, has been black flagged because his rear bumper came loose. You see him coming down pit road.
There he comes down pit road, the Link Belt Frames Chevrolet. Mechanicsville, Virginia driver. He is the older of the two brothers. There's his younger brother, Kevin Grubb, 37 car. They are battling for position. He and the 25-year-old Hank Parker Jr. Couple of the future drivers here in Busch Series competition, and Hank Parker holds the spot. That is for 9th position. Well, looking for pit stops here in the next few laps, which will probably be the final scheduled pit stop of the day, as we have 142 of 203 laps in the books, and Mark Martin is showing the way here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Okay. See what I'm talking about is it goes down the corner. We'll see. Goes by the start-finish line. You see the speed. He's going down the corner.
Speed picks up.
Right there. It ought to be slowing down, and it's, yeah. That's what I meant. It's behind somehow.
Is there a delay? I saw that a minute ago when he went to 185 entering turn 3.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't ask you about it. I saw that. I started to say, hey. Okay. He looked fine.
McLaughlin in the pits.
They're about to go a lap now.
Hank Parker Jr. ran out of gas. Going in turn 3.
Whoa! It just, boy, he ran Mark Martin getting by that car. Who's that, Parker?
Kenseth is called. He's not going to find the lead.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, just about a half a lap ago. Matt Kenseth, it caught the leader, Mark Martin. And Martin now running in second spot. Here is Joe Nemechek in the pits. Let's go to his pit.
Well, we expected all these front-running cars to be in the next 10 laps, but this is very early for Joe Nemechek. The car was sputtering a little bit. They've gone 4 tires on the Cellular One Chevy, and Nemechek is back out there. We expect Mark Martin to come in here about lap 155. That'll give him plenty of fuel to go the distance, but this was a bit early for Nemechek.
Here's Kevin LePage down pit road in the Redman Ford. He was the 4th place car a moment ago. Now he has come down pit road. And we'll go to work on the right side of his car. Steve Plattenberg and the rest of the crew, now Redman crew, getting service done. They will change 4 tires. What should be his final scheduled stop of the day or the night.
We see they picked up a front tire changer from Jeremy Mayfield's NASCAR Winston Cup car. Finally still got trouble. I guess they're having trouble getting fuel in the car. That's the reason for that 26-second pit stop.
Blaze Alexander making his way down pit road. Here is the lead cars right there. There is Kenseth, the 17 car, and the 60 of Mark Martin. Kenny Irwin also in both the Felix Sabates cars. And here's Irwin in the Bell South Mobility Chevrolet. His service completed, and further up pit road, the car number 81, his teammate Blaze Alexander, also running in the top 10, has gotten his service. Now he begins to lead as both the Sabatos cars head back onto the track. They're close to lap 150 mark. The 6-1 of Hut Strickland coming down pit road. The IWX Pontiac heads to you, Bill Weber.
Well, it's been a good run for Hut Strickland at this point. Had the outstanding qualifying run. One thing to keep in mind as these pit crews go to work, it has been a very long day, and now operating under very cool and brisk, breezy conditions. They'll clean the windshield and go around to the right side. Again, this is the last regularly scheduled stop. Right side is complete. They try and make a chassis adjustment. Had a little trouble getting the wedge wrench in. That's completed. Around to the left side. Tires going on. Fuel going in. Left is front is done. Hang up is the left rear. Now Hut Strickland is away. Ray.
The 66 car of Todd Bodine is in. They're running 8th on the track right now. They come into pit. Radio traffic on the 60 car of Mark Martin just a minute ago. He said, I feel like we may have an engine problem. It feels like a valve spring is going to be going away. A valve spring on the 60, and they have trouble with the 66. They couldn't get the car started. Martin stays out on the racetrack. We expect him in here in just a few laps. Matt Kenseth now coming onto pit road. Now to Bill Weber.
Matt Kenseth has to come all the way down pit road. I believe he is out of fuel. Very slowly down pit road. Has to come all the way to the very first stall. They wanted to free up his car. He's very upset. Clearly out of fuel now. They're going to take a pound of air pressure out of the left front, and they wanted to make a track bar adjustment. But right now, the big problem is going to see if he can get it restarted. They make a wedge adjustment. They've got the right side tires going on, the fuel going in. They've got the ether can ready to spray to help them restart. Now around to the left side. This is a long stop. Very uncharacteristic. Mark Martin is on pit road. Kenseth refires. And he loses it. Still trying to get him to refire.
Bill, they're going to do an air pressure adjustment on the left rear of Mark Martin's car. As he goes away on pit road here, the engine sounded fine to me, so we'll see if it actually was a valve spring or a problem with Mark Martin, or whether he just wasn't sure.
The lead 2 cars, both on pit road, both experiencing problems. There's the leader. LaJoie, the 2-time Busch Series champion of the Bob Evans Chevrolet. LaJoie started back in 30th position and is showing the way. With less than 60 laps remaining here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Aaron's 312. We'll come back with more action in just a moment.
53 car ran out of fuel on the backstretch, and I think he lost about 3 laps trying to get in and get you up 3 laps down, Hank Parker Jr.
Wow.
So did Nemechek end up in front of Mark? No.
So that pit stop after the red flag is going to help LaJoie if he can catch a caution.
Yeah, if he can just catch the caution.
Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you.
But he can't make it the rest of the way, so.
No. We need to update that Hank Parker situation because he was running.
That's about right. Yeah, that looked good. That looked all right. No. No.
No.
No.
It went into 3.
Just goes to show what a difference those new tires are, though. He's picked up about 3 miles an hour since the last time we saw him, so it's pretty good stuff right now.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the final laps of the Aaron's 312. Our leader is in car number 1, the Bob Evans Chevy of Randy LaJoie. The first laps he has led in the year 2000. Last race he led was back at Dover, Delaware in September of 1999. Came into the day second in the points, just 59 points behind Matt Kenseth. And just joined us when we restarted this race. The crew had made a mistake and put the left front tire on the right front, and the right front on the left front. He had to make a pit stop and had to go to the end of the longest line. That's why he is out of sequence. Now he leads right now. Benny, if he gets a caution flag, he's in good shape.
Well, he's in good shape because he's going to be on the lead lap. And right now there's only 9 cars on the lead lap as Mark Martin goes on the inside of Dick Trickle. And Ray Dunlap, you got more on Mark Martin?
Yeah, Benny, he just came on the radio and talked to Tony Lambert, the crew chief, and he said, guys, I don't think this engine's going to make it to the end. It's rattling real bad, so we need to keep our eye on the 60. Even though he's still in 5th place and has a very good car, he may not have a very good engine today.
Still running 186 miles per hour down the backstretch, but that is new tires. That's one reason the car is so much faster than before, or about the same speed, even though the engine may be giving some problems.
Boy, could you imagine how Mark would feel after losing one last week at dominating the second half, coming from a lap and a half down to Las Vegas, lost 3 laps from the end when a car spins in front of him. If he were to be able to maybe have a shot at winning here and have the engine go away, the engine sour, oh my goodness. Well, the guy he's chasing is Randy LaJoie. There's a car number 1 for LaJoie, 2-time Busch Series champion.
Right now, Phil Parsons is in second spot. Another car that has not made it. Phil is about 5 seconds behind LaJoie. And still, Mike McLaughlin's 48 car is trying to stay out front. Also, the 83 car of Wayne Grubb. Now we'll go back and try to find Phil Parsons. There he goes down in turn 1. He missed it. There he goes.
There's the Matchlight Kingsford car. Chad Schechter owns the Phil Parsons car. Phil Hammer, the crew chief there. Take a look at Phil since the restart. Started 34th. Now being shown in second position. His best finish thus far this year, 13th at Daytona. Had a 14th at Las Vegas, so 2 out of 3 starts. He has had top 15 finishes. Pretty good beginning for Phil Parsons here in the year 2000.
That's Shane Hall, the 0 car that they're going by. Right now, he and Randy LaJoie both much slower than Mark Martin because they're out there with those worn tires. And the cars are getting slower and slower each lap. But all they're hoping for right now is a caution flag to get them back in the race.
See if we can see where Mark Martin is in the Winn-Dixie Ford. There he is coming by. Martin back in 3rd position.
And we see the 60 car. Look at the speed differential. 177 for Mark and Nemechek. And Phil LaJoie, the leader, 171. Phil in second, almost 171 miles per hour. But Mark Martin, we see he's picked up the flame coming out the exhaust. That's new, isn't it, Jerry? Isn't this something happened that something new we're seeing in the last few laps? Here comes LaJoie, the leader down pit road.
Bob Evans Chevy making his final scheduled stop of the day. Less than 40 laps to go here at Atlanta. He heads down toward Marcelino, and Ray Dunlap is in their pits.
And Jerry, the pressure is on the crew here. They've made a couple of mistakes today. This is where they can really let it pay off. You see the wrench went in here to make an adjustment on the chassis, but it fell in. They're going to go down 1 round, 1.5 rounds on the right rear. And he's down and away. Now Randy LaJoie leaves pit road here at lap 165. We don't expect Phil Parsons to have to come in until around lap 190. So Phil has the advantage of getting more laps, Benny, as you said, with the opportunity of a caution comes out. So we expect the 59 Kingsford car in around lap 190.
Now, wow, first lap said Phil Parsons led since March of 1999, the beginning a year ago at Darlington, South Carolina. And if Phil could catch a caution flag, wow, would that be huge for that Kingsford team. But the speed differential is quite significant. Parsons is the leader, but Mark Martin is coming about 8 miles an hour faster as the laps are winding down here at Atlanta. Back with more in just a moment. Well, look at Mark. Visually look at Mark catching.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my heavens.
5 miles an hour.
My heavens. Phil said, come on, somebody do something. Give me a yellow flag. Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Mark Martin has caught Bill Parsons will try to take the lead, and Martin on fresh tires finish. Shouldn't be much effort for him to go beneath him, and he makes the pass.
He does make the pass, and the 66 car, Todd Bodine, is a lap down to Mark Martin. We see he's closing in on the back bumper. Mark's trying to get by him, and then a caution flag comes out. He's able to make up that mile and a half around this Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And the big question, can Mark Martin's engine hang together? Reports from his pits, the engine is sputtering. He's heard a vibration. He's felt the rattling. After a heartbreak in the desert, Las Vegas a week ago, here comes Kenseth now trying to make a move. That is Kevin LePage, and they're going to try to split the Jason Jarrett car. No, both will go beneath Jarrett in the Rayovac Pontiac.
That's a battle right now for the 5th position. Kenseth has it. Kevin LePage now back to 6th.
Martin, your leader. Parsons in 2nd spot. Nemechek is 3rd. And we are told that maybe Nemechek may be slowing a little bit. He is slowing. The Cellular 1 car off the pace.
Down in turn 1, he's on the apron of the racetrack. Now the question I have, will he be able to make it back? He's not out of fuel. He made a pit stop. They have put gasoline in the car, and it looks like he has enough momentum to coast back to the pit area.
1992 Busch Series champion Joe Nemechek still looking for his first win here in the year 2000. Finished 2nd at Daytona, 3rd last week at Las Vegas. All going away here in the last 30 laps. We are just 31 laps away from the checkered flag at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And the word we're hearing, Benny, is not a good one.
Engine.
Let's check in with Bill Weber.
It is the engine, Benny, and the crew telling me it has not run right since they ran it out of gas coming down pit road. So apparently the damage was done a few laps ago, and now Joe Nemechek will retire from the race.
What happens when you're out of fuel? The engine is still turning over, and it's just pulling air down in the engine, nothing to cool the cylinders, and you burn pistons and things like that. Here comes the leader, Mark Martin, off the corner, completing one more lap.
All Mark Martin's doing is burning up racetrack right now. We told you at the top of the show that he was going to be on a mission here. It is his farewell tour. His final year in NASCAR Busch Series competition, his 3rd start. He has a win at Rockingham, a 2nd place finish at Las Vegas, and a heartbreaking, what he called a very devastating defeat there with 3 laps to go. And he said, I want to win all the rest of them. Right now he's got a good shot if that engine does hold together.
Right now we'll check this time by the speeds at the line. Mark Martin still running over 177.5 miles per hour. Bill Parsons, 2nd place car will come by. Check this out, 169.2. As those tires get worn, the cars continue to slow down.
Now, a moment ago, Joe Nemechek was running in 3rd position, having a great day, and then suddenly it went away. Let's see if we can listen.
Just gone. And when that happens, you're forcing that something doesn't get on oil, cause fluid to get on the racetrack. You get in the fluid and crash.
Well, laps are winding down. Can Mark Martin hang on? Will the engine hold together for the final laps here at Atlanta? We'll find out in just a moment.
No.
Not yet.
He bounced off. He came back. Isn't babying it, that's for sure. He is not at all. He might, man. Knock the tail off of it, off the all tail. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a break, wasn't he? Just about 10 laps away from having a pit.
They're going to run this in its entirety tomorrow morning, have they decided? Exxon.
I mean the Superflow. Superflow Chevy.
Turn 3, you got some kind of 2 or 3 abreast going in the corner. Mark's bedtime. I'm going to hurry up and get this thing over.
Yeah. Mine too.
That makes about 10 of them.
Wow. Well, what a fine mess you've gotten us into.
63 car, we can talk about him now because he's about to go a lap down.
Well, we waited too long.
Back at Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia, the final lap. In fact, just 20 remain in the Aaron 312. The 9th time the Busch Series cars have come to this 1.54-mile quad oval in Hampton, Georgia. Mark Martin, our leader. Phil Parsons having a great run in second spot.
Jimmy Johnson and Phil Parsons finally comes down pit road to make a pit stop. This will probably be fuel only, Ray.
No, they're going to do right side tires, Benny. They're going up 1 pound of air pressure on the right front. They just need a splash of fuel here. The interval was changing very rapidly as Matt Kenseth was catching Phil. So they did go right side tires, and he gets down and away. Good run for Phil Parsons today. He'll be back out. Should stay in the lead lap.
Good pit stop for Phil Hammer and the crew. Now, how about the battles heating up on the racetrack? There's LaJoy pulling up on the back bumper of Dick Tricko in the Snyder Trucking Chevy.
This is a battle for the 10th spot.
18 laps to go here at Atlanta. Right up on the back bumper comes the big Bob Evans restaurant hood of Randy LaJoy. Look at the paint missing on the front of that car, Benny.
Yes, it used to be red. And they go by Kenny Irwin, so right now Irwin's car is not up to speed. And they're 3 wide. That was Jason Jarrett on the outside, and Irwin loses 2 spots. And and we see LaJoie going by Dick Trickle taking a spot away. Here comes Irwin back by Trickle. Oh, this is heavy traffic.
Trickle just solid on that steering wheel. 58 years of age, oldest driver in the field. Now back inside. Watch Dick Trickle. That's the view he's got. Jimmy Johnson left side, the Alltel Chevy. They go by Johnson. Trying to follow LaJoie in the one car.
Dives down, puts a lap on Elton Sawyer. Trickle goes on the inside. Trying to get this battle kind of smooths out.
Now Mike McLaughlin qualified 12th on a great qualifying effort in the Goulds Pump Chevrolet. Right along with this Briggs & Stratton roof cam. There's a 71 car with that left rear fender about half ripped off from that miscue in the pits. He is being shown in third position now, Kevin LePage.
McLaughlin we're riding with is back in the 23rd position, a couple of laps down. Right now, only 3 cars are left on the lead lap. Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, and Kevin LePage, the 71 car. You saw go by Mike McLaughlin.
We are inside of 15 laps to go, and here's the battle that's continuing to rage on the racetrack. That is for position. That's for 9th spot. Dick Trickle driving for Jimmy Spencer, who owns the Trickle car, and Randy LaJoie driving for James Finch.
Yeah, Trickle is really beating LaJoie through the middle of the corner.
They are 9th and 10th, trying to reel in the 8th place car. Speaking of working traffic, Mark Martin is just setting sail in the car number 60. And what are they thinking about in the Mark Martin pits? Are they concerned about this engine? Let's check in with Ray.
Well, Jerry, we'll ask the crew chief, Tony Lambert, is that motor going to make it to the distance?
We're hoping. We're not in Vegas, we're gambling again. But there's nothing really we can do. The motor's rattling real bad. He come over the radio and said it's making all kind of noise. We're just hoping right now to make it to the end with this Winn-Dixie Ford.
Been a long day. We hope you get there.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Tony Lambert. 10 to go when they hit the line this time.
Could you imagine if he gets in a couple laps of this checkered flag and this thing goes away? I don't think I want to be near Mark Martin. And you'll see steam coming out those windows. He will be so hot.
Better keep sharp objects away from Mark if this happens.
I tell you, he's got a lot of faith in that Edgar Alleman engine. That's the Edgar Alleman who's the build engine for Roush Racing for the Busch Series team for this 60 car as well as the 98 car. Elton Sawyer, and boy, he's hoping this one just holds together for 11 more laps.
That's Jeff Green right now in 14th spot. Trying to put him a couple laps down. Look at that. Mark Martin is at 153 laps here this afternoon and tonight.
And we talked about the fact he was on a mission. He wanted to dominate today, and for the remaining 12 events he's going to run.
Now some pretty good traffic as he's just going all through that traffic like it's the first or second lap. Mark, there's only 9 laps to go as he squeezes on the outside of that car.
And he is definitely not babying that engine. And we are inside the 10 laps to go mark.
You see the 66 car back to the top of the line. He is in 4th position. And look at him chase down Mark Martin. He is slowing down. I don't think if something is wrong with the car or this traffic is causing him to slow down. The last time by, Mark Martin only averaged 167. This time, did he pick it up to 171? But still, the 17 car of Kenseth is running about 177.
Gotta wonder now if possibly the engine may be a factor. 8 laps to go.
It could be just the traffic that Mark was caught up in just a couple of laps ago that caused that slow speed. We see the slow speed right now. He's down to 162. And look as Todd Bodine just pulls up as Mark off the corner. Just doesn't have anything off the corner. Todd Bodine goes by. But maybe Mark is saving this thing. Would that be smart?
Well, maybe he is, and maybe he isn't. You know, he's been driving this thing so aggressively here. Now 7 laps to go. If you weren't around last week at Las Vegas, Mark Martin came a lap and a half behind. And with 3 laps to go, he's leading. And watch the 15 car. Jack Sprague spins right in front of him. Mark misses the car, but the 9 car goes by. Jeff Burton, and he takes the victory. As the caution comes out and Burton takes the win, Martin finishes second, and boy, he was devastated because he had driven his heart out to come from a lap and a half back.
I think that Mark, I believe he's just taking it easy right now. There's really no cause to run that hard. Last time by, he averaged 171 miles per hour. But Kenseth is in second spot and faster, but he's 17 seconds behind with just 6 laps to go.
4 cars on the lead lap are Martin, your leader. You heard a moment ago, Kenseth, some 17 seconds back. There's the 17 car in second spot as he goes by LaJoie, who is the 9th place car a lap down. The 3rd place car is Kevin LePage, and what a saga he has had today. Give him a hand in that red man Ford for the job he's done. And 4th spot now back on the lead lap, and on the tail end of the lead lap is Todd Bodine in the 66 car.
Comes Mark Martin down off turn 4 to complete 1 more lap. The car behind Mark Martin, Kevin Jordan, green and blue car, is currently in 5th position. Good run for him, but he is a lap down, as you can tell, to Mark Martin.
History being made at Atlanta Motor Speedway. 4th position. 14th and 15th spot. There's Jeff Green in the car number 10, and Bill Parsons. Actually, that is for 14th and 13th spot. 13th, and that's what Jeff Green will take away.
That's David Green, Jeff's older brother, going by Phil on the outside.
Remember, Phil only got 2 tires on that final stop, so those tires are telling now. Back up front, it was this Mark last week, 3 laps to go, that something happened to Mark Martin at Las Vegas.
See, Kevin Grubb has been able to get by as Mark now is down to average speed of 170 miles per hour.
Well, history being made at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the first ever Busch Series Grand National Division night race. And here's a pretty good battle, Benny, with LaJoie, Irwin, and Huck Strickland.
And Dick Trickle right in front of this group. That's a battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Back up front, 41-year-old Mark Martin trying to hang on. He'll get the white flag this time by from Matt Abernathy. He is 1.5 miles away from the checkered flag. But the big concern, they say the engine is rattling and vibrating. Will it hang together? Will misfortune strike Mark Martin as it did a week ago? He is now a mile from the checkered flag at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I think you can coast from here, Jerry.
On the bottom of the racetrack in turn 3, he comes out of turn 4. And 41-year-old Mark Martin gets win number 42 in the NASCAR Busch Series Grand National Division. His second win in the year 2000, and Tony Lambert and the Winn-Dixie crew will celebrate. And here's the battle for 9th position. LaJoie, Irwin, and Strickland will finish 9th, 10th, and 11th as they come by. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Aaron's 312 is history, and Mark Martin is the winner. Okay, all right. Okay, gotcha. You said McDonald's drive-thru, right? Okay.
The drama has unfolded here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's the longest Busch Grand National event of the 2000 season. There he is making that left turn, that appropriate left turn. He'll be heading into
I did that game a few years ago out in Zoom. I did the play-by-play on that Big Sky Conference Championship basketball game. Up next, okay.
Hold him in there, okay, just for a second. Hang on, not ready. Watch your back there. Hang on. Ready? Anytime.
We have to let the winning net down first.
Yeah, it'll be tough to get out with that net. Mike, you get a shot of when you get the shot of the Winn-Dixie car. After the disappointment in the desert 1 week ago, Mark Martin gets a win in Dixie here today. Let's go down to our McDonald's drive-through winner's circle and hear from the winner. Here's Bill Weber.
And a big smile from Mark Martin. Congratulations, you've had a lot of great days here, and now one big night.
Well, you know, it was a weird race, having the rain come, and our car really worked good there, and then all of a sudden it looked like Matt was going to work us over there, and then he ran out of gas and got too far behind, and Nemechek fell out. He had some kind of problem, and the car really handled good, but something was starting to give up on it there. Matt just kind of ran us down there. We're sitting there cruising, and all of a sudden he just ran us down and passed us, just like nothing to it. So I guess I'd rather be lucky than good, because that didn't seem to get it done last week. So this week we were lucky enough.
So did that run through your mind tonight, Mark, when you thought maybe something was going wrong under the hood?
Well, you know, Tony Lambert and all these guys on the Winn-Dixie team said, well, first Tony said he wanted to try to get 10 wins this year, and I thought that was quite a bit. Then later on he just said, well, we want to win every race. So, you know, you can't when things don't go right, and they make my job easy. I drive a fast race car, and I couldn't do that in a slug, and I'm thankful. This is my last trip here in a Busch car, and we had a good one.
Congratulations, you hit the jackpot tonight, Mark.
Thank you.
Mark Martin in victory lane for the third time in the last 4 Busch races here in Atlanta.
And NASCAR 2000 starting off awfully well for Mark Martin. 2 wins and 3 starts here this year. Take a look at the final results unofficially. 5 cars finishing on the lead lap.
See, Lyndon Amick finishes back in 15th. He's 2 laps down.
Bill Parsons in 14th had to make that late pit stop. You take a look at 16 through 30. Ron Hornaday, after all the damage on that car, still manages a top 20 finish. And Hank Parker Jr., by the way, ran out of gas, lost 3 laps trying to get to the pit road, and still gets a top 20 finish back in 17th spot. And the remainder of our starters, 43 cars started. Jason Keller, the hardest lick of the day. He's okay, but destroyed a race car early on up in turn 2 after contact with another car. Lots of racing action coming your way tomorrow. 1 o'clock Eastern time, the 41st running of the Cracker Barrel 500. Of course, it all starts with RPM today and NASCAR today, leading up to our live flag-to-flag coverage. Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will lead them down at 1 o'clock Eastern time on ABC Sports. And then RPM tonight following up after that. And, of course, IROC, the International Race of Champions, round 1 of IROC 24, tomorrow at 5 Eastern time, 2 Pacific on ABC Sports.
Take a look at the point standings after 4 events of 32 on the Busch Series schedule. Matt Kenta still holds the lead. LaJoie now 91 back. He lost some ground today. Mark Martin in 3rd spot. Bodine, Hornaday, Jeff Green, Phil Parsons, Mike Dillon, David Green, and Tony Raines, last year's Rookie of the Year, rounding out the top 10. Benny, what a day for NASCAR Busch Series racing here at Atlanta.
A day and night race all in one here today, Jerry.
Well, up next, the Big Sky Conference Championship Tournament. That's coming up next here, as I hope you enjoyed our coverage all day long here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. For Bill Weber, Ray Dunlap, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch. Once again, congratulating Mark Martin. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, a part of the Go Network, go.com. So long, everybody.